we appear to have on a fired up Monday genuine sports disagreement between Zaslow and Greg Cody. The Dolphins won. Their coach went for it on fourth and goal, very short, tie game. 2 minutes left in the game, went for a touchdown and failed to get the touchdown. Greg Cody, your thoughts?
It was a lame brain decision by him. We can look back on it now and retrofit it and say, he had faith in his team. They won anyway. They won. They got lucky in overtime. They won because Jack Jones had a pick and on the only terrible pass Mariota threw all day. In that situation, you go for the win. It's late in regulation. The other team has no timeouts left. You go for the 16-13 win in regulation, and that was a long 4th and 2. That was not 4th and inches.
Oh, a long 2.
That was a 4th and 2 legit. And then the play they call is their backup running back plowing right into the middle of the line and being tackled by a 5,000-pound defensive tackle.
What if it was a normal 2 yards, not a long 2 yards?
It was a long 2 yards. That matters.
There's a such thing as a long 2, by the way, because when you look at the field, sometimes they put that ball a little bit closer to the 3-yard line than the 2-yard.
That sounds like if it's close to the 3, you round up and say it's 3,
right.
Don't you? That's not a long 2 anymore. If it's
closer,
closer,
a long 2.
No, I think it's a long 2 if it's right in the middle. I think if it's close to 2.5 is when it's a long 2. I think if it's over 2.5, you say it's 3.
Yeah.
Do you not?
Technically, though, it's 2 because they always go in.
Zaslow, what are your thoughts here?
I think that 2 and 3 years ago, if Mike McDaniel is doing that, we are all like, yes, he's different. Super aggressive team. He's an offensive guy. Of course he's going to go for it.
A long 2 years ago or
Yes.
a short 3?
That's where I thought he was going when he started 2
good
or 3.
point.
A long 2 years ago. It feels like that,
Yeah, it
yes.
has been
We'd
a
have been
long
okay
2
with
years.
that. But now, and look, I've done this as well, where it's the thing to do is to be super critical of everything Mike McDaniel does because the way he looks and the way he sounds, the way he talks. And now it's not so fun that he goes to that play. I think we'd have looked at it totally different a long 2 years ago.
No, I mean, in that situation, I don't care what the analytics say. I don't care what the percentages say.
Why don't you care what the analytics say and what the percentages say? Because they say you're wrong.
I know logic.
What decade are you talking? You're talking about in the 90s, your take would smack.
The game's not the same.
A long 2 decades ago.
Okay, they have a chance to take the lead late in regulation. They blow it. They get lucky in overtime. If they had lost that game in overtime, all of us, including that guy, would be vilifying.
Let the record show is pointing at me.
McDaniel right now. Vilifying McDaniel.
He did point at him with a vigorous fat sausage finger. It's been noted. The record notes.
It wasn't even a point. It was like emphasis.
Look, the Dolphins saved McDaniel from embarrassment. They saved him from himself. He made a bad decision that backfired and then got immensely lucky for it.
If Dan Campbell does it, you're like, yep, good call.
No, I don't. I go, why didn't you kick the field
you
goal,
don't.
kneecap eater?
The Lions last night went for it like 14 times. Like 4th and 6. Like, they don't give a shit.
How'd that work out for him?
Well, they got robbed. That's another story.
I mean, are you trying to win or are you trying to be ballsy? Mike McDaniel wants to show he's got balls the size of grapefruits. So
No, he's trying to win the game.
On 4th and a long 2. It's
No,
ridiculous.
he's trying to win the game. He was trying to win the game.
All right, we'll continue this in a second. Settle down.
Football is back, Jack. Oh my, we've waited for so long. We're so damn excited that we put it in a song. Don't need no check downs. Give me big hits and quarterbacks. Keep your fantasy team from falling off the track. Football is back, Jack. Whether on the ground or through the air. When the chips are down and you throw a prayer. When your team is primed and on the hunt. It's 4th and 10, you refuse to punt. When the shoulder pads and helmets crack, that's how you know that football is back, Jack. Let me hear you say football is back, Jack. This high is say's a gag. Football is back, Jack. Football is back, Jack. Football is back. Football is back, Jack.
We will get to the microscopic dissection of the end of regulation in Spain. A truly dreadful beginning to my Sunday. Just horrific football being played by both of those teams as Zaslow and Cody genuinely disagree about what Mike McDaniel did. Obviously, two bad football teams. How do I know? Because on 4th and short, one gets a delay of game and has to kick a field goal. And on 4th and short, another one, when it's going for it, gets a false start. And I'm like, get out of here. Yep. Send it to Spain and stay there. Just don't come back. Don't take the flight back. The best play of that game was Mariota avoiding a safety. That's the best play. That was the best play in that football game. But because we love to dissect what the coaches do, I want to examine Zaslow and Greg Cody's disagreement here, because what Mike McDaniel did in a tie game at the end of regulation, going for it, 4th and goal instead of kicking the field goal, which is basically what every coach would have done that we've ever watched, would have kicked the field goal. Only 2 since 2000 have ever done what McDaniel did. McDaniel was the second. So in 25 years, McDaniel is the first to go for it in that situation. Cody says, I don't care what the analytics say. The analytics say you get a 3.5 better percentage chance to win the game by going for the touchdown there. Because even if you fail, you're leaving them at the 1 yard line with no timeouts. It's going to be very difficult for them to get out of that situation. But the mathematics say that. The thing that I wanted to ask you guys, though, about it, because I thought the announcers were really bad at the end of that game, really bad. First of all, they didn't talk about Achane going out of bounds at the 6 yard line, which he should not have done. Like, Achane has to stay in bounds there. Has to.
That was what was going to cost them the game.
No, but he has to know the game situation there. The announcers don't even mention it. He gets the first down. The announcers don't even mention it. But the announcers also have to know, in the modern age, that's a good assignment to get the Madrid game. A lot of money being spent to send everybody to Madrid. Those people need to know that the percentage of chance going for it is better at 3.5%. They need to tell the audience to make everyone back off. It can't just be anymore some offensive lineman in the booth saying, I think I'd show guts here and go for it. Give me what the math is.
Well, and also give me what the trend is, which is that he's only the second guy in 25 years to take that risk, that unnecessary risk.
You need the researchers to give you that information. It's why they're there. It's why they're flown to Madrid.
Well, I don't know if you could have gotten that stat right there in that spot, that it's just the second time in 25 years. But certainly the former, the percentages going forward kicking, that they probably should have had.
McDaniel knows what the percentages are. He's playing the percentages. He is a math guy. That he is absolutely doing there what is the correct play.
But it's not just the percentages there. It's, all right, and this is why I believe McDaniel made the right move, where the game is different than what it was 10 years ago. I've been talking about this recently here, where the kickers are so good these days that it's taken a lot of the excitement out of the game, where team gets the ball, a minute to go. Can they drive and get to field goal range? Well, yeah, they can. Because these guys are kicking 60-yard field goals, and it takes away a lot of the excitement. It's just 2 plays, and he's in field goal range. That's essentially what Mike McDaniel was considering yesterday. If he kicks the field goal there, and it was just under 2 minutes left, which is an eternity now in today's NFL, and the Dolphins go up 3, kick off, you get the ball at the 30, you're 30 yards away. You're 30 yards away from tying it.
Let me ask you this question, Greg, because I really do like, the advancements in football that make these coaches less coward, more math. I like what it is when I'm on offense, almost absolutely, with very few exceptions. If I'm on offense on 4th and 2, I almost always want to go for that. And if I'm the defense, I almost always want the kicker on the field in that situation. If I'm a fan of the defensive team and the other team has the ball on 4th and 1 or 4th and 2, I always want them to send if I'm on defense, I always want them to send the kicker out on the field, because 1 and 2 yards, they're so precise now that they just take a tight end and they do a little play action and they just throw one of these rollout passes with such accuracy. I know a couple of 4th and shorts got stopped yesterday. I know the Lions were terrible on 4th and short. That's the best defensive game I've seen the Eagles play during the championship run. That's the worst Lions offensive game I've seen throughout their season being good. So I know when a team fails on 4th and short, it always brings this criticism. But would you agree with me that if you're a fan of the defensive team, you always want to see the kicker run out onto the field on 4th and 1 and 4th and 2?
What I agree with is that 4th and 2 means go for it most of the time, situationally most of the time. If my own team, it's the middle of the second quarter, my team is 4th and 2 from its own 42, I'm like, yeah, go for it. In this case, you take the 3-point lead, and here's why. I don't know if you guys have noticed, Miami's defense has been pretty good the last 3 or 4 games. Pretty damn good, as it was in Madrid. If you're Mike McDaniel, you give your team a 16-13 lead, less than 2 minutes left, other team has no timeouts, and you trust your defense to not let them drive 70, 60 yards for a tying field goal. I trust my defense.
It's not
No, but it would have
yards.
been, it would have been 30 yards.
It's
25
Why would
yards.
you trust that defense?
The Dolphins' defense has been pretty good the last few games.
No, but your argument there, trust them to not allow 60 or 70 yards, is literally what Mike McDaniel did by saying, if we don't get a touchdown here, I trust my defense not to give up 60 yards and a potential game-tying kick. Now, the irony is that is exactly what happened. They ended up missing the kick. But, like, your argument there is literally what Mike McDaniel was banking on.
You would agree that the Dolphins got lucky with that pick on the first play of
I mean, it's a
overtime.
play. They made a play.
Okay, Mariota had a good game. He made his only bad play of the game to begin overtime. That's luck that bailed out
Or he
Mike
was due.
McDaniel.
I mean, like, by that logic.
Would you also agree that if the Dolphins end up losing that game in OT, Mike McDaniel is being vilified this morning?
Well, that I'd agree.
Nationwide?
That I'd agreed with. But fans are noisy, and they are.
I'm not talking about fans. I'm talking about everybody.
They're math averse.
Greg, the thing is, every interception, every fumble, every turnover is luck, right? Just depending on if the ball's bobbled up this way, if you cut off the pass that way, if you get a hand on the football, like. Turnovers are lucky in just the general sense.
Yeah, but this is a Dolphin defense that has had like 3 interceptions all season. I mean, you don't expect that, especially out of Jack Jones, who would not be a starting cornerback on any team in the league.
Well, that's
but
another
made a
thing.
play.
There are so many players on that field because all of these teams are broken. There's so many players on that field at this point in the season that are just practice squad elevations that happen to be wearing professional uniforms.
Yeah, that's not a real player. I mean, if you don't mind, I'd like to move away from the microanalyzation of Commanders Dolphins and talk about like the more interesting stuff, which is like Stephen Ross talking about. Well, the reports are Stephen Ross is looking for reasons to bring back Tua and Mike McDaniel, and you have a team that's fighting for a head coach. We thought this team was done and dusted, and yet you still don't want this quarterback speaking in front of a microphone. That stuff.
Why? Does he say weird things?
He says weird things.
All right, let's play the sound of him saying that. Good Lord Jesus, he wants to play.
Well, that's what it's about.
That's the joke I was making. He wants to play in Jerusalem.
It's not just that.
It's a weird thing to say.
He was asked about international series, and he's like, let's go to Hawaii.
He was asked, where else should the league take games?
Well, I think he said, where else in Europe, right?
Watch, he's just asked in general. It's like a blanket statement, but then he specifies because he says something like, let's listen.
Hawaii. So the United States again, but just go play in Hawaii. I think that'd be pretty cool. But in Europe, shoot, it'd be pretty cool to go play in Jerusalem.
Not in Europe.
I don't know. That'd be sick.
Anyway, the Dolphins have the following situation. I actually understand. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but when you talk about what they're doing for next season, given the contract situation of their quarterback and given that this draft doesn't have a surefire quarterback that you want to lose for, I understand putting a bandage on it for a year and saying, McDaniel, Tua, let's see if Tyreek Hill can get some value back, and putting a bandage on it for a year because you don't actually want the leadership void of let's blow the entire thing up and start over from ground zero.
That was a good answer, though. I mean, wasn't at all worried about his brain whatsoever, hearing him speak like that and smile like that. His teeth do look great.
Zaslow is done with the unwatchability of Tua.
Dan, he's unwatchable.
The number of screen passes, the number of throw the ball backwards.
It sounds like you guys watched. I didn't, because it was Commanders Dolphins, and I've seen this Dolphin team the entire time. I just kind of want to move this thing along here. I'm a little annoyed that they won, because now you're like, oh, should we or shouldn't we? Some people, Stephen Ross being one of them. Just, come on, let's get this thing over
He
with.
got chased down by like a 350-pound lineman.
When he was all by himself, just throw the ball away. Dude. Here's the thing with Tua. I've never seen a more immobile quarterback. And my entire childhood was Dan Marino. Like Marino, at least he'll step up into the pocket.
Yeah, he had a quick step.
He avoids the sack. I mean, Marino was a statue there. Marino is more mobile than Tua was. And with Tua now,
Marino, after the Achilles tear, you have Marino being
looking
more
like
mobile
in
than
the big
Tua.
boot. Ooh, the Nike Town boot.
wearing the entire leg brace. All right, looking like a robot. Marino was more mobile than Tua is. Tua now, if there's any kind of pressure coming on a play, if Tua does not find a receiver on his very first and immediate read, the play is completely screwed. He has no awareness in the pocket. He has zero ability to escape anyone, and he has zero improvisational skills. He is brutal. The fact that if a quarterback does not hit their very first option on a play, and that's what meaning that the play's screwed if he doesn't, and that's what you're relying on to win you games, it's impossible.
That was the issue with the Mike McDaniel offense, right? It was like, oh, this offense is amazing. They're scoring all these points. Everything is so fast. But they're like, oh, what if we just take away the first read? And then they just develop, oh, wait a second. Tua can't scan the field. He's too worried about getting hit.
He can't
He's too worried about a muddy
anything.
pocket.
Well, wait a minute, okay? I will say that when they were at their healthiest and speediest, he was going 1, 2, 3 through the reads. What's happening now with Waddle as the only option, okay? An assortment of tight ends you've never heard of and don't want on the field. With Waddle as the only option, what it is Waddle's my first read. I don't want to go to Washington, any Washington. I'm going check down. I'm going immediately check down. I'm going to the bubble screen. But since you mentioned Dan Marino, and I can't believe that Zaz is saying that Tua is less mobile than Dan Marino.
Can't believe I'm right.
I can't believe that you're saying he's less mobile than Bernie Kosar. Bernie Kosar now. I can't believe that you're saying that Tua is lacking that kind of mobility. I think it's an exaggeration. But when you talk about Dan Marino, they brought him out in Madrid. And
did they?
He has some trouble with the chant. Chris Cody is alleging that Dan Marino has never done or heard a simple "Let's go Dolphins." Let's go Dolphins. Let's go Dolphins. Let's go Dolphins.
Good on the crowd. They stayed with him, but it's just so
The
awkward.
ones who weren't booing.
Kind of like when he did the drum at the Panther. He's just odd.
Well, he's bad in public.
He does not lead the league in public appearances. There was a shot of him next to Zach Thomas doing the whole ceremonial coin flip thing. He looked like he wanted to be anywhere on the face
Probably
of
a
the
couple
earth
shots.
besides where he was.
You guys are saying the crowd was good. That's a crowd that doesn't speak English.
And that's just the fans that travel.
Maybe he figures the "Let's Go Dolphins" chant is kind of outdated. He's trying to switch it up a little bit.
That feels
That's triggering.
It feels a bit death metal-y.
Like haunting.
is.
Like in my dreams, I'm like, where is he?
No,
Where's Dan Marino? I smell him though.
It does give me a little bit of anxiety hearing him do that because that's not the way that it's supposed to go. And it reminded me of another South Florida legend trying to do a chant that left me feeling some type of way. Bobby. Bobby.
That's Barkov trying to celebrate Bobrovsky.
Bobby.
All right, pair them together. Let's see who's worse.
What's wrong with people, Dan?
Haunting is a good.
Dan, think about this for a second. Okay, you're at the Pirates of the Caribbean. It's dark. All of a sudden, this echoes from the pirate ship.
That's going to be
It
pillaging.
does
The
sound like
fog
pirates.
rolls in. You're like, where am
That's a
I?
great astute observation.
That is absolutely in Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein behind the ship when he's coming out of the sea.
Haunting.
It is frightening.
Bobby.
Victor!
Bobby.
Victor!
Bobby.
See, Barkov's is not haunting. Barkov's makes me happy. It's playful.
Bobby.
It's the way that you're in a bounce house with children and you chase them around.
Bobby. Bobby. What's wrong with these guys, man? At least Barkov, it's not his first language. Bobby.
I mean, if you've heard Dan Marino in front of microphones, like it wouldn't feel like his first language. One of the great surprises of my entire lifetime is as long as Dan Marino lasted on that CBS pregame show because they hired him in the first place. And he spent how many years doing that because he was always notoriously bad talking in front of people, hated doing it and was boring on purpose.
And yet he was a great quarterback, so we never criticized that, where we're criticized Tua about everything, so we criticize him for everything, for mentioning Jesus, for making jokes that don't work, for not being as glib and as eloquent as we want.
No one here is criticizing him for mentioning Jesus.
Where'd that come from?
We were criticizing
I don't
him
think he
for
mentioned
putting,
Jesus at
for
all.
putting Jerusalem and putting a football game in Jerusalem and in Europe. That's what.
Well, let me just
Hawaii
say,
as well.
I need to defend Tua here. Okay, I'm the only one who's going to do it.
Feel free to do so in front of the microphone.
I hate to always be the VOR, but if you're looking for reasons to criticize Tua after yesterday's game, you're looking for reasons to criticize Tua. He's been pretty terrible this year. Led the league in interceptions with 13. He had a clean game. He played an efficient game. You know what he recognized? You know what the game plan recognized? Devon Achane is the best player on the field other than Jordan Brooks on defense, who had 20 tackles. Another reason why you trust your defense with a 16-13 lead late in the game.
Greg, I don't trust that defense. Like, I really don't understand what you're doing with that defense. That defense has not been trustworthy. Like, you can say they've been decent the last few games, but that's not a trustworthy defense. And what Zaslow's saying late in that game, you have noticed this change, right, with the kickoffs. If they start at their 35-yard line, they get one first down, all of a sudden you're
So
kicking
easy.
a 57-yard field goal because every game in the sport, every game in the sport has a 57-yard field goal. I've got one of the strangest things to watch in football in terms of the evolution is the number of teams that get inside of 60 yards and then just hand the ball off up the middle because they feel good about where they are on the field inside of a 60-yard field goal, even if that is something in my lifetime. Anything beyond 50 yards in my lifetime outside of the last 5 years has been a field goal that you don't want to be taking. Now it's a totally normal thing for kickers all over the league to be making 50-yard field goals.
You know who's behind me in advocating my opinion? 99.9% of all NFL head coaches over the last quarter century. There's just no excuse.
No, but the game's changed over 25 years.
The game is no different than it was 3 years ago or 5 years ago.
But then don't use a 25 years as
No, but
your
Greg,
number.
it is different. I gave the stat last week that the Bears and Giants went for it on fourth down 5 times in the first half. It's totally different.
It's totally different.
All of these teams are going for it all over the place on fourth and short. Nobody anymore doesn't go for it on 4th and short. There's not a coach in the league that you think of as Dave Wanstead, notoriously scared on 4th and short.
I agree, but again, you have to think situationally. One of the exceptions is 4th and a long 2. When you have a you have a 1-foot putt for what should be a winning field goal. You take those points in a game where points are tough to come by.
By the way, when we're talking about trusting your defense in that spot, give them a 3-point lead, trust the defense at the end. They didn't get the conversion, and the defense then literally allowed 60 yards with the opportunity to kick the game-winning field goal. Like, you want them to trust the defense there, and the defense gave it up, like, in a major way. Now, granted, it's benefit of hindsight, but still, like, they gave it up still.
Let me throw another something at you. How about a modern twist on a doorbell where Amazon driver gets there, walks up to your door, and you hear this? Let's go. Dun, 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 dun.
Does kind of have the sing-songy.
I would have a
doorbell
different
cadence.
one. I would have a different doorbell, though.
Ooh, that one is nice.
That's when they hold it a little bit longer. You know what I mean? Instead of
Who
like
is
a
it?
quick one.
Let's conjure other situations where you might be scared. You've come down the stairs at midnight because you've heard a bump in the house. It is. Wait, that's also scary in that situation.
It's the Halloween version.
That became decidedly less happy. All of a sudden, now I've got a crazy stranger. No, that's not the one I was looking for, though. I'm come down the stairs the way Tony does when something in his garage falls off of the wall. Let's go, Dolphins. Haunting is the exact way to describe that.
Gravelly.
It is. It also doesn't sound at all like Dan Marino. If I didn't give you any context and told and said, hey, who is this? It would take you 1,000 guesses before any of you said it would be Dan Marino. But let's switch subjects here because I too am tired of talking about an epically bad football game that now puts the Miami Dolphins more in the playoff hunt than they were at 4-7.
Was that Ed Orgeron?
It sounds like a thick man. Like if I asked you, if I didn't tell you anything and said, describe this person visually, you're saying this person is more square than stick. So this is a headline from The Athletic, and I say it only to enrage Mike Ryan. Notre Dame closing in. Miami shut out, ?
Yeah, this is bullshit. It's bullshit. And the charmed existence of a Notre Dame fan right now is insane to me. Okay, Miami's doing what the committee asked, be more consistent, look better on offense. For all the talk about offense, Miami's offense is a lot better than some of the teams that surround them. In fact, Miami, I think statistically right now, is in line to have its second best offense over the last 20 years. Miami looked thoroughly dominant on Saturday. You could say that's who Miami is. They had a midseason hiccup. That's who Miami is. They're closing the season in style. NC State didn't cross the 50 until the fourth quarter.
And they have a good offense.
Yes, the ACC's leading rusher had -2 yards
And NC
against
State
Miami.
beat Georgia Tech last week.
Yes, and they beat Georgia Tech and Virginia.
Yeah.
North Carolina State had been the ACC killer.
They beat Georgia Tech
Get in on
2
that,
weeks
Mike.
ago. That was NC State coming off a bye. NC State's got talent on offense. I like their quarterback. Their quarterback does have a live arm. He looked like he was floating balls because Miami's defense was playing that fast. Miami's defense is unbelievable. But I realized this is bullshit over the weekend. Why am I living and dying watching Clemson run fullback dives, fumbling at the goal line twice, not enjoying my Friday night? Well, Notre Dame just gets to beat up on Navy and Pitt with coaches saying, this game doesn't matter. What are we really going to entertain this? Are we really going to take this down the line? I know what you're doing. You're putting Vanderbilt there. You're putting Utah there ahead of Miami. BYU I'm fine with for now. You're putting them there so you don't have them bunched up together, so you don't actually have to have this conversation about a head-to-head matchup. Let's put that to the side.
Well, we'll see tomorrow night the rankings come out.
Everyone's talking about how Notre Dame is a bona fide playoff team. No doubt about it. No discourse about it. Miami's the exact same way. If Miami gets shut out, Notre Dame better be shut out because head-to-head has to matter. Why would anybody schedule a non-conference opponent of any consequence if you're not going to get credit for when you beat that team directly.
Well, but I don't blame you, even though Navy beat my beloved South Florida Bulls. I don't blame you for being upset about part of this, but you can't wave around a victory over NC State, which has 5 wins, one of them over Campbell, and then just dismiss the way Notre Dame beat Pitt, because that's a game. That's the scariest game left on Miami's regular season schedule is Pitt.
Yeah.
So you can't just can't just dismiss
I'm
Pitt
not
while
dismissing it.
praising NC State.
Not dismissing it. I'm contextualizing it by saying the coach, quote, I'd be glad if we lose 110-3. Contextualizing it. And they came out flat, and they came out like they didn't give a shit about that game because it doesn't actually matter when it comes to Pitt's season. And that's the benefit of not having to play in a conference for Notre Dame. Notre Dame is a good team. I believe Notre Dame deserves to be in the college football playoff. Don't get it twisted. Notre Dame is good. Miami beat that very good team. If Notre Dame is in the playoffs, Miami better be in the playoffs too, ahead of Notre Dame too. This isn't, just come in here. Miami should be ranked ahead of Notre Dame because they both played.
I'd be almost willing to guarantee you that if Miami wins the rest of its games, it will get into the postseason, just because this college football season is so batshit insane where everyone is losing. And I look up at halftime on Saturday and can't believe that Texas A&M is down 30-3 at home to South Carolina.
I hear you. I think that there's 2 weeks left in November, notoriously crazy for college football. Miami might get the help. Hell, it might get the help it needs in its own conference. And that would go a long way to helping Miami's chances. What I'm saying is that concept right there is bullshit. Miami shouldn't be in the discussion right now as needing help. That should be a conversation for Notre Dame. Notre Dame should be the team that is chasing Miami. This whole charmed existence of not having to sweat over this final month of the season when you're the guys that lost here in a game that Miami controlled, in a game that looked a lot closer than it should have.
Okay, I feel like what you're doing here is a little bit like when the NBA All-Stars are released, and you're like, this guy should be an All-Star, all right? But you're not giving us who shouldn't be an All-Star, whose place he should take. So you think Notre Dame is a playoff team, and you also think Miami is because you think Miami should be above them. Okay, who that's in the picture right now should be out then?
Well, the teams that are directly ahead of Miami.
Because you're good with BYU, you said.
I'm good with BYU. They have a tough game against Cincinnati.
Okay.
BYU has an opportunity to lose another game here, and then that's a different discussion. But
So
as
who
of
should
right
Miami
now,
be ahead of then?
They should be ahead of Utah, and they should be ahead of Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt somehow climbed on a bye week in the AP
Okay,
rankings.
that's fine. So then Miami you think should be 12, which still has them out of the playoffs.
Yeah, I understand. Within striking distance, and then you have 2 games to win in style and show the committee that you are indeed a playoff team. And if you're 12, then you're closer to Notre Dame, and then Notre Dame should be the one that's sweating it on the final weekend of the season because Miami beat Notre Dame. Miami scheduled Notre Dame. Miami beat Notre Dame. I shouldn't be sweating like this. I am a madman. I am not enjoying myself right now. And I should be enjoying myself because a couple of weeks ago, we beat their ass at the line of scrimmage. We dominated that game. We controlled that game, and we got a victory. A victory should matter. Don't come to me and say, well, look at what Notre Dame looks like right now. If those 2 teams played, who would be favored? I don't know. My guess is Notre Dame. Guess who was favored the last time they played? Notre Dame. What happened? Miami controlled the game.
I agree that if the Canes win out and finish 10-2, they're going to make the CFP, I think, and should. But let's not lose.
You guys sound like homers, though. I'm not the homer. Like, do you guys know the national narrative? Do you guys know the odds?
I've heard the odds.
Yeah, like you're talking about how we're going to be in the CFP if we win out.
Right.
I listen to all these national podcasts. We're an afterthought.
Right.
Alabama's in good shape. Kirk Herbstreit went on television and said a 3-loss Texas should be in consideration for an at-large. A 3-loss Texas that lost to Florida that we dominated.
Okay, but let's not lose track of the fact that did this to itself. At one point, they're 5-0 and number 2 in the country. They lose a game that they shouldn't have lost to Louisville, which wasn't even that close. Wasn't as close as the final score. They got spanked.
I think the SMU game is worse.
Okay,
you're always going to lose a
bad
game.
losses.
You're not going to go undefeated. Yes, I hear you. Miami's lost 2 games on the last play of the game.
And at least SMU's a road game.
We're really going to go 21-4 over the last 2 years and not have a playoff to show for it. This is insane to me.
I have a way for you to enjoy yourself, though. I'm going to tickle you some. You say you're not enjoying yourself. How about some of this?
Bobby.
It does help.
Bobby.
does. I know what. Look, I still am worried about Miami going 2-0. But let that be the gambit. Miami has to go 2-0 here. Miami doesn't handle business in November. It's why last year they missed the college football playoff. But I listen to what the committee says. I listen to what the committee says Miami needs to do. And Miami has done that for the last 2 weeks. This looks like a different Miami team. On offense, they look dynamic. They don't look predictable anymore. It's a damn shame if we look back on the season and say the staff got in its own way because the fan base was screaming about how obvious your tendencies were, and SMU won a game that they shouldn't have beat you in.
Oklahoma winning this weekend really hurts.
Oklahoma has a good.
That really hurts.
Oklahoma has a good resume. It
No,
stinks.
but it could have been over for them. They would have been done, and instead they're going to get in.
They got so outplayed in that game.
It takes a spot from the
I
game.
can't believe Oklahoma won that game.
Here's another thing that bothers me. I understand Alabama's reputation and Miami's reputation. They have a common opponent. It went totally different ways. We want to talk good losses, bad losses, quality wins. FSU got embarrassed. FSU embarrassed Alabama. Miami played FSU. That is a bottom feeder in the ACC. That, for all the SEC narrative that we have there, why doesn't that stick? Alabama lost.
Well, first game of the season.
Miami was the first game.
You know the answer to your question, though. There are going to be 6 SEC teams in the tournament, no matter how bad the SEC is.
But that's bullshit. It's bullshit. They're beating each other up, and they're getting credit for depth, where Miami doesn't get credit for depth, even though the SMU team that they played has only lost 1 regular season conference game since joining the conference. The Louisville loss, these are not bad teams. Notre Dame played Louisville last year. Notre Dame was in a 1-score game at home against Louisville last year. Notre Dame and several CFP teams could go to SMU and not win that game. These are not bad losses. They're bad losses in that Miami kind of beat themselves in it, and that's really frustrating. But if for all this, it's not how you start, it's how you finish talk, well, Miami's on halfway to finishing pretty damn good. Right. Because that team on Saturday looks like it definitely deserves to be in the field. Definitely.
Right, but if they're going to finish 11-1 instead of 10-2, we're not even having this conversation.
I can't reverse the loss. I can provide context and say Miami's done everything that it needs to do,
except win 1 additional game.
It is nonsense that we have to have this conversation, and I have to fight for my life and find the propaganda when Notre Dame lost to Miami. They're sitting at the same exact record, and they don't have these conversations. Every talking head is like, yeah, total playoff team right there.
Yeah, it's just because their 2 losses are to Texas A&M and Miami by 4 points.
But that matters. But you said their losses are to Texas A&M and Miami. Miami played them head to head. They beat them.
Yeah, but they're less worse losses. Less worse.
What are you talking about?
They are worse losses.
How is it not a terrible loss when you're in direct comparison to another team in the CFP? If you lose to that team, that's a bad loss.
Losing by Mike, there's no dispute to what I'm about to say, which is losing to Texas A&M and Miami by 4 points is more impressive than losing to SMU and Louisville by more than that.
Yeah, by 3 more points than that. Miami's loss on the last play.
Even if it were the same amount of points, it's still more impressive.
Okay, but
Bobby, we're gonna keep tickling you. I've got some other things
about how their loss to Miami looks good, and you're just totally bypassing the loss to Miami.
I'm gonna try and cheer you up. How about Ed Orgeron as a pirate in AI haunting you with Dan Marino's chanting? Tell me
that works.
That's pretty good right there.
That
Ed
works.
Orgeron
I see the old galleon in the back, Dano.
And now, in order to cheer you up, I'm going to pull out the best card I've got. I've been working on it for an entire week. Yes, me and ChatGPT. It is the Dolphins logo replaced by an old man's ass.
Oh, now that's an old man's ass.
That's an old man's ass.
Is that Greg Cody's?
I would not have known that. My ass is better.
That's a
than
ball
that,
sack, guys.
That's better not be what I
It's
look
not an
like.
ass.
It looks like a brain.
That is a
does.
ball sack.
I thought it was a brain.
The Miami Dolphins should name their team the Miami Ass and change their logo to an ass. Not a nice ass, like an old man's ass.
I worked on that all weekend, and I appreciate
More wrinkles.
that you guys
Sending
are
it back.
No one said these
Didn't
look like a
the
pair of
Dolphins
testicles. No one said you add more wrinkles, it looks like a
Horrible ass.
ball sack. No one said that.
I was working on it very hard all week.
Let's see the original. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That is not what we
no
want
doubt.
right there.
Could have used more wrinkles.
It's what we want.
That's what mine looks like.
Hey, yo.
That is not what your
Yeah.
ass look.
Dude, good for you.
Thanks, man.
Zaslow, I'm assuming that when you walk nude through your house, that wearing sneakers or flip-flops, that is not what your ass
I bet it
looks
looks
like.
more like the nice one than the old one.
Dan nailed it, though. That is how I walk through my house, naked, but just with my sneakers on.
Yes, Aslo.
Look how pleased he is with himself.
It had to be said. It had to be said.
Good one. Never heard it.
Thank you.
Have you been hearing that one since childhood? We've got Nick Wright up next. He's got to be hurting. The Chiefs have a worse record.
Oh, he's got to be hurting?
The Chiefs,
Jeremy embarrassed us
the
yesterday.
Chiefs have a worse record than the Carolina Panthers, whose season is over, by the way, as I've been saying all
the second
season.
time.
Bryce Young threw for 448 yards yesterday, left the field twice in a way that I thought he had career-ending injury. Twice left the field, comes back out. What a group of losers they have in Atlanta, man. Like
stink.
It must stink to be a Falcons fan. Bryce Young twice left that football game. One of them on fourth and short, he trips taking the snap, falls down, and I thought tore his hamstring while sliding backward trying to get off the ground. Comes back in the game, throws for 448 yards. And if not for Jacoby Brissett breaking the record for completions in a game, I would have said that's the best game I've ever seen a bad quarterback play. We've got a bit of an emotional week, I would say, here this week as we are leaving this studio. It's been an eventful 2 years where the show has struggled and groaned under the weight of trying to build a business. And we're going to move into new studios. Everything is moving after, I think it's close to 10 years here. And we're going to remember some of the things from the Clevelander because as expensive as the property value has gotten around here, the neighborhood has really deteriorated. There has been
so is my health.
There has been a lot of
But that's your fault.
shootings here recently and assassinations, plural. And we need to get out of here. And next
And that
week,
move is brought to you by Miller Lite. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
next week is going to be a little bit difficult because we're going to be in the change, and these are not your problems, they are our problems, but we ask for yet more patience after 2 years of trying to build this thing. We're excited about getting into new studios, and we will remember the Clevelander throughout the rest of the week here, because one of the great memories I have, Stugotz, it really is one of my favorites as I've gotten late in life. and have learned to appreciate some of this nonsense that we get to do every day, is the weekend before we were going to go on ESPN radio and start with whatever it is we were doing with them. They were going to make this studio look like all the other studios, which is just blue paneling behind us that would be nondescript. And my brother and I spent the entire weekend here putting all of this stuff up. And the reason that it's one of my favorite memories is because I remember the screaming phone calls on Monday when no one had been informed that that's what we would look like, and they didn't want us to look like that. Or no one had given them a heads up, I should say. It's not that they didn't want us to look like that. It's that they were going for homogenized at the beginning, and we put up all these tiles that we're at some point here going to just auction off because they've been here for 10 years representing us as we make a move to become a bigger business. We've got, Mike, do you know how many employees we have now? I don't know how many employees we have now.
I walked into today's pre-production meeting and I was a little stunned at how many people were in that room, considering it's just jarring seeing how we've started. And there was a lot of people here when we were doing HQ. It was even tighter back then in many respects because we had the equipment. But I think the stark contrast is from the pandemic days when ESPN would only allow you and me in these studios and people were zooming in. So maybe I'll have fonder memories when we get out of here, and I'll look back on some of the stuff that we did here and created here fondly, but I cannot wait to get out of this godforsaken building.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Thank you for everybody who tuned in last night to watch the shipping containers suffer because they had Chiefs minus 3.5.
The hook.
Jeremy, what does this video need as context as Nick Wright, who looks like he's been crying and hiding, he joins us now. He's got to be hurting today. What is the context this video requires? Nick Wright was willing to put up $5,000 that would have gone to the shipping container if the Chiefs had covered 3.5. They did not. It's the second time Nick Wright has failed to deliver money to the shipping container. He's heartbroken about that, I'm sure. What context does this require?
Chiefs were down 3 at the start of the fourth quarter and driving. They had thrown a bunch of dinks and dunks to Travis Kelce, and we were in a spot where all they needed was a touchdown and an extra point to go up by 4, which is what we needed to be in position to win.
This is the best
bet.
you guys felt. When Kelce tumbles into the end zone and you realize you're about to be up 4 with the extra point, this is as good as you guys felt.
That is going to be the best. And what you can see is we were trying to give analysis throughout the game as well. So this will start with some analysis and then lead you to that touchdown and everything that transpired from there.
Hey, the Kelce screen for 4 yards sucks. That play sucks. That play sucks.
What is
How about you get the ball to a guy who's fast?
Yeah.
How about that?
Bro,
Oh, Tony? Big Bob Tanyan?
What?
Big Bob Tanyan? No way.
What?
Oh, that's terrible tackling there, man.
It's not. I will say it's not Tunyon. I don't want to get your hopes
Terrible tackling. That sounds like a good thing.
Let's go.
It is a good thing.
Okay, hold on. Give this guy the ball, dude.
Oh.
Get this guy in a screen pass for 4 yards. Get this guy the ball, dude.
I'm not there yet. Hold on.
Get this guy the ball, dude.
Harrison Butker.
Oh, all-time franchise leader in touchdown.
Just know that if he misses it,
What are you doing?
Jeremy,
What the are you doing? What the are you doing?
Yeah, bro. Are you
just
crazy?
know.
Yeah, no,
Are
we
you
know
in-
what happened.
Are you
Know how I feel. Just know how I feel.
I blame Jeremy. I blame Jeremy.
You started a Harrison Butker chant.
Yeah. Fair
Me?
comment.
He's gonna.
got blocked.
Are you for real?
Yes, the kick got blocked.
Oh
I didn't do
You're kidding me. You
I
started a
didn't-
Harrison Butker chant. You're gonna blame me?
I mean, dude, it was. Oh boy.
I take full responsibility.
Chris Cody being 10 seconds ahead of everybody else when it's a live stream is just asinine.
Telling you, staggered reaction.
Nick Wright joins us now by way of apology, I suppose. Nick, how are you feeling today?
Insolvent and inconsolable. And I am now angrier. I listen, I apologize, and I don't know this gentleman's personal, financial, or family situation. But Jeremy Taché is forever banned from receiving any money the shipping container
No, that's
will
good.
one day.
No, that's fine.
will
It's
one
fine.
day
It's fine. I
win.
understand, Nick. I'm really sorry.
I mean,
It's
what
not
the
great.
what was that, bro?
Tough punishment.
Well, you walk over to a craps table and be like, "Hey, don't roll a 7." Like, what is wrong with you, bro? Like, seriously? So that's that. I mean, there's that. Also, again, far be it for me to tell anyone how to run a business. But I think we got to find a way to have everyone watching either in the same location or on the same delay. I knew what was happening on all those plays as I get choked up, and I found that horrifying. Like, what are we doing, guys?
We were synced up for about 20 minutes, and then it all went to hell.
There's a way to okay. I mean, just whoever is the furthest ahead just has to pause and then let there's
Chris didn't want to do that.
Oh, but Roy was the furthest ahead.
There's literally, it's hard to sometimes sync up like movies on an airplane with a significant other you want to watch with them. Sporting events, there's a clock. You can be like, hey guys, I paused it at 9:38. Tell me when you get there, click play.
But
what are we doing?
Roy was the furthest ahead at one point and was like, I don't want to pause because I'll miss action.
Chris, please stop explaining what is a calamity that deserves his every criticism. Now, I will say in Jeremy's meager defense, and I don't know if you want to retract what you just did with a banning, this was literally his first time betting on a game. So he doesn't know.
I have never had any money coming my way at the result of a game in my life of any kind.
And you never will again,
And I never
buddy.
will again. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not chasing it. I have no interest in that feeling ever again. And the Harrison Butker thing, I mean, it's just, if any other kicker, I never would have said it. I wish I had just said, why'd you make me chant for that guy? Because that was the feeling. I'm really sorry, Nick. It's my fault, and I take full
No, it's not
cosmic
your fault. It's the
responsibility.
Chiefs' fault. And Dan, I don't want to be disrespectful to your platform, but I also don't want to be disrespectful to the TV show. So I can't. I feel it is. I'm not going to give any analysis on the game here. Some because I'm not equipped to yet, and some because I just think people. I'm just going to save that for 3 o'clock on the TV show. What I'm here to do is for you guys to be able to see my pain, and I can I had a lot. See, I was not so worried about I wanted them to cover by 3.5 for you guys, but I had money all over the place on this. Late in the day, the line moved against us to 4.5, but 4.5 at plus 108, I was able to get down in a partnership with the great poker player Nacho Barbero. So he and I had a lot on 4.5. I, early in the week, had bet David Baker, who once won the Super Contest, greatest sports gambler alive for a year at least, who is a diehard Bronco fan. He and I have a lot of preseason Broncos bets where I was the house, and and those are bets that I didn't expect to lose, like Broncos to win the division, Broncos to make the playoffs that I gave him plus odds on. So I layered a lot more on Broncos, on Chiefs minus 3.5 with him. I actually had a winning morning thanks to despite Mike McDaniel's best efforts. Miami covered the 2.5, so that set me up well. I had the Bears money line, that went well, and then I just rolled all of that into the Chiefs money line at minus 200, and that was and there is this. I just love the God Dog team, and I literally get heckled on the street when they lose. And it used to be from folks that I don't, mostly Eagles fans, but now there's going to be a Bronco fan. It's just a bad morning, man. This was a, and again, Chris Cody, if I'm going too long, I apologize. This was a wake up at 2 a.m. dreaming about the game type of loss, and I haven't had a regular season one of those in a very long time. And it's also a email your financial manager at 6 a.m. like, hey man, I know this is the account we say we don't touch, but I need a little transfer.
All right.
I need a little transfer.
You can watch and listen to his embargoed thoughts on First Things First, weekdays, 3 p.m. on FS1. You can get his podcast, What's Right with Nick Wright, wherever it is that you get your podcast. But where does this one rank in terms of overall pain for you? A loss that feels a little bit sleepless, because now it's not just your money, Nick, and I don't know which one of these. I'm going to say that your money hurts more, but I don't know, given how much you care about this team emotionally.
I can make the money. I'll just, I can make the money back, Dan. That's the thing. This is how I would rank it as far as pain. The most pain is that my team's in trouble. Like, that is true. Like, they are, I know they're still like 58% to make the playoffs, but that's to make the playoffs. And they don't have the tie. I can't believe that I feel like this is this is the stuff the poverty level teams talk about. Like, we don't have the tiebreaker with the Jags. Gross. I can't believe I'm looking at the tiebreakers with the Jags and the Texans. Like, who the hell are we?
When's the last time you looked at a tiebreaker during the regular season?
I don't know. Honest to God, I don't. 4 years ago, we were 5-4. But then we blew out the Raiders in a similar spot and, ended up 12-5. So first most pain is for the team. Second most pain is the pride. All week last week, Dan, I said them losing was an impossibility, and Bo Nix was going to look terrible in this game. And Patrick throws the red zone pick. So, it is the gold medalist of pain is my team. The silver medalist is my pride. And the bronze medalist is my bank account. But can make more money.
That pick, where does it rank on you being stunned by anything Chiefs related? I don't know how surprised you were the way that Bucs Super Bowl went. I don't know how surprised you were the way that Eagles Super Bowl went. But seeing Patrick throw that particular pick, where you're like, what was he doing? What happened there?
It was high, Dan. It was high. He threw a pick like that against the Jags, 99-yard pick six, which is why we don't have the tiebreaker. It was, they deserved. I tweeted it. They deserved to lose. I can't believe I'm saying this. Denver was better. Denver deserved to win the game. The Chiefs made a bunch of mistakes. They turned the ball over. They couldn't get off the field on 3rd and long. It was bad. And now they're in a real. Now it's a real fight for their lives. And I still, there is a part of me that says we're now just going, the revenge will be 2-7 in Denver, round one of the playoffs. That's certainly on the board. But it is, if you actually dig into it, they're in a very precarious spot.
If the playoffs started today, the Lions, Ravens, and Chiefs would be out. They were 11-0 in one-score games last year. They're 0-5 in one-score games this year. What is that?
Well, you threw a lot at me there. The Ravens are not good. Now they have the same record as the Chiefs, but the Ravens, that win against Cleveland was horrifying. So the Ravens' problem is their quarterback missed some time, their defense was bad, and now their quarterback's back, and he's not himself. The Lions, the NFC is stacked, and their lines aren't quite as good as they were. The Chiefs, it's bizarre, because the offensive line is much better than it was last year, and the receiving core is healthy. And while yes, winning 17 straight one-score games is aberrant. Losing 5 straight is aberrant as well. And so I don't have the answer for you there, Dan. I don't.
Which one hurts more of the things I'm about to tell you? Third place?
This is awful.
Worse record than the Panthers, same record as the Texans.
Oh, you mean third place in the division?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying when you say
third place in the division?
Worse record than the Panthers? I hadn't even thought about. You guys are sons of bitches. I gotta tell you, seriously. You guys, the mics are off, but there must be one spare mic on where I hear that godforsaken shipping container giggling. I just gave, and Taché is like, that was my first time betting on sports. You didn't bet on sports yesterday.
I know. We kept telling
you were on a free roll. Shut up. It cost you nothing. You were on just a maybe I'll be able to pick up a few extra dollars situation. And you guys are in there giggling.
Bills.
What did he say?
Don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. I'm looking for sympathy.
Shut up!
Stand down.
I'm sorry!
Stand down.
I'm sorry.
Nick, I'm sorry. I apologize for what he did.
Chris
okay?
chanted.
You shut up.
Not another word.
Not another word, I swear to God. What he did yesterday was sickening. Okay, what he did yesterday was irrehensible. What he did yesterday was disgusting.
Irrehensible.
Not a word.
I knew what he meant.
That's
reprehensible.
You know what he meant. You know what I meant.
It means irresponsible
Thank you.
reprehensibility.
Thank you.
It's
that
a combo
word. I'm gonna
word.
start
I like
using that
it.
word.
Thank you.
Moreover.
I agree with the ban on Jeremy for all time. Yes. I second that ban.
I third it.
All right, so I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
he reminds me of the guy, like Jeremy. I never thought I would say this, but you're starting to remind me of the guy who does soccer play-by-play now. Like, what do we do? Like
What a compliment. Thank
you should know better. Yeah, like professional and I'm sure good at your craft, but also like, dude, why is he here? Like, what are you doing? Real quick before I go, Tony,
sir,
on the side, if you got anybody that might be interested in a day date, tell me the best number, okay?
I'll text you.
All right, thanks.
The Kansas City Chiefs, 8th place in the AFC. You can catch all his thoughts embargoed.
They're in 9th place, actually, Dan. If you're going to troll me, do it correctly. They're in 9th place because they currently don't have the tiebreaker against the Texans. They're actually in 9th place.
That's my bad.
They have 2 more wins than Miami. Miami's firing people because they're so bad.
That's one more win than Miami.
Sweet Christ!
You can watch him on First Things First, weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern on FS1, and the podcast with his son is called What's Right with Nick Wright. Thank you for making the time, Nick. We will figure out what the next bet is the next time you come on, okay? Jeremy's not allowed.
It's about to be a kidney. See you guys.
I'm sorry, Nick.
Yeah, that one hurts. I can't even imagine how much he had on that game. The last time he was on with us, I think he said I was in a rigged game in Milan, and then and then this time, what was the great name of the poker player?
Nacho Barbero.
Nacho Barbero.
Great name.
He's so open about the gambling and all the money that he's winning or losing. His wife doesn't get mad at him?
Well, he's got his own accounts on the side where they're exclusively for his habits.
I'll tell you, wives, we know that they love.
This
winning?
AFC playoff picture is insane. I mean, it's November. It's almost turkey time, folks.
Where the Dolphins at?
And the Ravens and the Chiefs are in the hunt graphic.
Dolphins are a week away from in the hunt.
I mean,
The Lions are out of the playoffs today.
Right? If I told you this before the season, Lions, Ravens, Chiefs in the hunt graphic. There is a playoff that you're looking at where Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow doesn't even factor in the discussion.
I need some of that new blood.
Nobody is getting a home game out of that group. And the odds-on favorite in the AFC, the Ravens, they're a joke. They're considered a joke.
They kept repeating on the broadcast yesterday how Patrick Mahomes has never not made the AFC Championship game. I'm like, that is
They've won the
crazy.
division 9 straight times.
That's crazy.
I want all these guys to make it, though, but all of them to have to do it on the road.
Well, but
all
this-
wild card weekend. Like Texans, we may get Patrick Mahomes in the noon trademark Houston Texans.
Who are the home
window.
quarterbacks? Davis Mills,
No, but
Daniel
This
Jones.
is the situation we're
Drake
in
May.
after. Let's examine last night's game for a second because we're going to talk about the Chiefs. The Chiefs losing is a bigger story than just about anybody else winning. It's an amazing space that they find themselves in, and you saw last night. I think we can agree on this part, right? If the Lions window is not closed, you saw last night how they're going to lose in the playoffs. If they have to go on the road, play outside, play in the cold, Jared Goff's going to go 2 for 18 on his last few attempts. That's as bad as Jared Goff has ever played. I'm including a 13-3 Super Bowl loss to the Patriots in there. Jared Goff completing 40% of his fewer than 40% of his passes is nuts.
Got a new guy calling the plays.
To see, Dan Campbell's calling the plays. What happened to the Lions last night, I'm not kidding you when I say, okay, it's the worst game of this era I've seen their offense play. That offense was averaging 31 points a game. That offense scored on every drive last week. Every drive it had last week. That's a good offense. And I've never seen the Eagles defense play better than that. I've also never seen the Eagles offense be worse than that. That's as bad as I've seen the Eagles offense be, and it didn't matter. But the Eagles have now won 24 of their last 27 games, even though they're impotent on offense the last, 15 of them.
Again, slight context for last night. There was a ton of wind. The gusts were like 30, 35 miles an hour. The balls were going all over the place. Like, even though that is December, January football for the playoffs, it was tough for both teams to kind of get things offensively rolling.
Of course, the weather is a factor, but once the Lions have to play outside of a dome, as they will because they're not in the playoffs today, if they have to play on the road, it's not going to look like it looked against Baltimore earlier this season when they won 38-30. But I want to go to another game. Do you know how good the Seahawks have to be kicking for the game against the Rams on the road after Sam Darnold plays like that? That football game, okay, Chris Shula as the defensive coordinator for the Rams. Sam Darnold in his last 25 games against everyone other than Chris Shula is 21-4 and throws the ball down the field whenever he wants. Against Chris Shula and the Rams, they cannot throw the ball down the field. He's 0-3 with 12 sacks and 5 interceptions. Sam Darnold was a disaster yesterday. He will not be a disaster like that against most teams, but if he sees that one, that team is good enough to win the Super Bowl. Like, to be on the road against the Rams and do that to Stafford, to slow Stafford down and be kicking for the game at the end when your quarterback has that many turnovers, that's nuts. Like, the Rams are legitimately one of the best teams in the league, empirically in every way. Stafford has thrown in his last 7 games 22 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. But that's as bad as he's looked in the last 7 games. That's as incompetent as the Rams have looked in the last 7 games, or the season, I would say. Maybe the end of the Eagles game. But I just couldn't believe that the Seahawks were still in that game. Show me all the games this season where you saw somebody turn the ball over that way at quarterback, college or pro, and you're kicking for the game at the end.
Miami, Louisville.
Yeah, Carson Beck.
Yeah. We're setting up that field goal and just a little tip pass. The odds-on favorite, according to DraftKings Sportsbook, to win the Super Bowl this year is the LA Rams with that Chiefs loss.
Really? And Stafford was the MVP favorite before this past week.
I want to play a sound here of linebacker Ernest Jones of the Seahawks defending Sam Darnold after last night.
I mean, Sam's been balling. Like, if we want to try to define Sam by this game or what, man, Sam's had us in every game. So for him to sit there and say, oh, that's my fault. No, it's not. It was plays that defensively we could have made plays. There were opportunities where we could have got better stops. It's football, man. And he's our quarterback. We got his back. And you got anything to say, quite frankly, you.
I like it. You know what that's called, Dan? You know what that guy's called? A Radada.
You got anything to say, quite frankly, bleep you? That.
You got anything to say, quite frankly,
I love that. The quite frankly really works there.
The quite frankly before a bleep you is something I have not heard before.
You got anything to say, quite frankly?
You know what? It's redundant. Once you've gotten the bleep you, I'm guessing you're quite frank.
Got anything to say, quite frankly, you.
It's redundant.
That's a rada-da.
What were your takeaways from the games being played yesterday? Because that was the full Josh Allen experience in the Tampa Bay game, where you get I think we can say that that's an unprecedented player, given that yesterday he tied Cam Newton for rushing touchdowns with his 73rd, his 74th, and 75th. He's now tied with Cam Newton with plenty of career left to play on touchdowns rushing the ball. But when I say it's the full Josh Allen experience, it's because it's 3 rushing touchdowns, 3 passing touchdowns, but also I'd miss this guy. Interception from his own end zone thrown with 2 hands. Like that, there's not a quarterback in the league.
That was funny.
There's not a quarterback in the league who does that. And also a forward pass thrown when he was 10 yards beyond the line of scrimmage.
He was so far in front of the line of scrimmage.
Not 4 yards, 10 yards. And it really is. I said this yesterday when I was on the live cast with these guys. It's like watching an actual stallion play football. Like, hey, defensive lineman, don't get behind him because he's going to kick you in the face. Like, you're going to get injured. It's not him that's going to get injured because he plays every game. Like that no matter what the traffic is, no matter if they're sitting Keon Coleman, listen to Deion Dawkins. He's a good talker. He's the left tackle for the Bills. He's one of the best offensive linemen in the league, and he suggested last year that we give an offensive lineman award every year because he's like, why don't we give the offensive lineman awards? And Keon Coleman being out for that game as just a healthy scratch when they badly need wide receivers, although you wouldn't see it given what their offense did yesterday. Listen to Deion Dawkins. You rarely hear players talked about this way. When Keon Coleman, their first-round pick at wide receiver, somebody drafted to help Josh Allen, is a healthy scratch.
I already spoke to him. When I spoke to Keon before in this game, and I told him, I said, bro, look, don't even worry about it. Everybody goes through a different journey, right? Let's just say that this is the last time, and let's just move forward. And he said, I'm with you. That's all and we need, right? Like, nobody's perfect, but in this league, we need guys to come on. And Keon knows, right? Now he's in the hot seat, and he needs to come on and show up for us. Pats on the back are over with, and it's time for him to grow up, and he knows it. And as an older player on the team, we hold everybody accountable, and we shoot straight. We don't sugarcoat it, and the words were said to him, and he took it well. And we'll see how it goes in this week. But like I said in the beginning of the season, I'm in Keon's corner, man. Like, this league is hard. Being on time is hard. Being great is hard. Pushing for greatness is hard. So we got his back, but the time is now.
Has Cam Newton ever had 3 touchdowns and 3 rushing touchdowns in a game, 3 passing touchdowns and 3 rushing touchdowns?
No. Josh Allen yesterday recorded the second such game, 3 passing touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns in the Super Bowl era, joining Josh Allen in Week 14 of last year.
So he's an unprecedented quarterback, correct? We can say he's an unprecedented quarterback?
Yes. And how did the Dolphins lose to that quarterback 2 weeks ago? It's just incredible because he's been the curse. Everybody talks about the Dolphins' curse. Mostly I talk about it. It's having Tom Brady and then Josh Allen as a 20-year timeline consistently dominating you. That's the curse.
I don't think you can say someone's unprecedented when you literally cite a precedent right before.
But it was only him, though. He's the only one who's done it. It's only Josh Allen who's done it.
Yeah, but it's like the Cam Newton comparison. Like, there is a precedent. He's just like leveling up.
We're talking about Josh Allen, who had 6 touchdowns yesterday, and you're calling a stallion, and all of that is accurate. And the Dolphins quarterback, if he has the ball for more than 2 seconds, he freaking panics.
And yet they played head-to-head last week.
That's right. He ain't wrong. Credit where it's due, baby.
And being on time is hard. Isn't that right?
It is hard. I'm glad to hear him validate that because being on time is hard.
You got anything to say, quite frankly, you.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Is being on time hard at Le Batard Show?
It's a talent.
Time
ability.
You're in a bad traffic area. I mean, I understand.
Thank you.
You got to bake that in, though, pal.
Among the things that happened yesterday, I want to get to funniest thing from the sports weekend, but among the things that happened yesterday, we said there were 4 big games yesterday. 4 is what we identified beforehand. What if you had to choose one thing from yesterday that stood out the most to you? Is it the Chiefs losing?
I would say that. I would say Philadelphia dominating Detroit's offense. I would say a player of Jacoby Brissett's caliber, which is middling at best, setting an all-time completions record. It was a crazy
You can't put
weekend.
Brissett in this conversation, even though he completed 47 passes. They scored 22 points and got doubled up by San Francisco.
I know. Yeah.
That's like a waste of time. Everything that was happening there was a waste of time.
But that's my point. That player, and he's a journeyman. He's stuck around. I give him credit. But that player of all players to have a fairly prestigious all-time NFL record.
It disrespects the record book
does.
for him to be atop it, and you disrespect my question by putting him in the middle of what I just asked.
He gave him
you.
credit, though.
Middling.
I do, quite frankly. Bleep you. I mean, I stand by what I said. He set an NFL record. He's worth a mention.
Okay.
Got anything to say, quite frankly? You.
There you go. Thank you.
Zaslow, you put what at the top of the list from yesterday?
I think it's actually the opposite of the Chiefs. I think it's the Broncos. I think it's the Broncos winning that game the way they did and sitting atop the AFC at 9-2. And we remember just 2 years ago, you got the Russell Wilson problem in Sean Payton's first year there. Like, to me, it's the Broncos.
The thing happening with the Broncos that I find most interesting is that I don't believe, maybe they do now, maybe the country understands now after seeing Patrick Mahomes look that way in that game, but I don't believe that most people watching the Broncos are looking at the Broncos and saying that's the best pass rush since the 83 Chicago Bears. That is the best pass rush a defense has had since a Bears team that could have gone undefeated if not for the aforementioned Dan Marino, the aforementioned Dan Marino beating the undefeated Bears. Were you watching
He was
First
distracted
Take?
by
I'm
Cam.
not going to lie.
yeah.
I was
Cam's hat is
distracted
big.
by Cam.
Yeah.
Okay,
He's got a big hat today.
Really, today he's got
Today.
a big
Oh,
hat.
it's bigger than usual, Dan.
You don't say.
Yeah, look at me, Louis.
Odd look for him.
Do you think most people know that the Broncos defense is on pace to sack the quarterback more than the 83-84 Bears
I mean,
team?
Surtain hasn't even been playing.
Right. It's not just the number, it's the disparity. The last time I looked, the Broncos' defensive sack total was double the second team. Like they are twice as good numerically as the next best sacking team in the NFL. That's what's incredible to
And
me.
Bo Nix is good.
You want to talk about a long 2 years
He's
ago?
good enough.
He's good.
A long 2 years ago when the Dolphins put up 70 on the Broncos,
two.
and the two franchises have taken totally divergent paths.
They are sacking the quarterback on 11% of the plays. That number is
What?
on 11%.
49 sacks on 438 dropbacks. That's an 11.2% sack percentage.
For the season?
For the season.
Yes.
That would be the highest,
I'm
obviously,
telling
in
you,
a season
what I'm
since they
telling
started
you is that
tracking
this
it.
defense
that is stunning.
This defense is all-time good. Like when I say 83 Bears, like 83 Bears are just with the Ravens of the Super Bowl Ravens of Ray Lewis as the best we've ever seen at defense.
That's crazy.
And they can do it with 4 guys. They blitz and stuff, but they can do it with 4 guys, and it is something that makes Patrick Mahomes look bad because it'll make any quarterback.
Great
look
points
bad.
by you. Small fine. 85 Bears, not 83.
No, actually though, it was right. I think it was the defense right before the 80. I did conflate years there, but I think the defense before they became the championship
better?
Bears. I think
You
it
always
was-
hear about the
I think
83
it had
Bears.
more sacks.
Always.
Please look it.
Look it up. You're telling us to look it up.
No, but
We'll look it up.
please,
We'll
please
look it
tell
up.
tell me whether I have this wrong or not. But I do
is
think
funny.
I do think the year before they actually had more sacks.
You know about those 71 Dolphins?
But I did make that mistake
They
of
went to the
putting
Super Bowl.
the two teams.
How about the 70 Dolphins?
Let's do funniest thing here from the sports weekend, please.
You have that backwards, Dan. It's the 86 Bears. So it's the year after they were undefeated.
Oh, okay. I had it from the wrong notes. Okay, my bad.
Hey, people, tell us what in the sport made you laugh hardest this weekend. It is a segment we call What Made You Laugh This Weekend. Ha ha ha!
Jeremy, what was the funniest thing from the sports weekend?
This is a great one submitted by a listener that despite Jeremy's enthusiasm, the Heat would be a play-in team if the season ended today.
Isn't that the truth?
Come on. They've been
No, that's
without
funny.
Bam like last 5 games.
Yeah, no,
Fair
Come
comment.
on.
I know this.
They're the most
Still funny.
exciting average team in NBA history.
gonna be
Nah, you're not fair.
That sweet spot, number 10, baby.
Mike Ryan, what was the funniest thing from the sports weekend?
I can't go away from that damn Reno chant. It's been living rent free in my head since I heard it. This is not a human thing to do. Just stunned the people at the Bernabeu. They don't. Should we chant after this? I can't believe he tried to do it again.
We should never chant again.
I actually think that we could change and should change the "Let's Go" chant to do it more like I like the remix that Dan does better now. I'm coming around on this. Yeah, I do. Chris, what do you have? Funniest thing from the sports weekend?
Staying in this game, the Dolphins kicker, Riley Patterson, taped his wrists.
Why?
That's a good question. I don't know. Maybe in case he has to make a tackle.
You nailed it.
It looked ridiculous to me. Seemed unnecessary.
Jay Feely wore wristbands for a similar reason.
People sweat, man.
As the kicker. Tony, what was the funniest thing from the sports weekend?
Just watching us on the live stream be so hopeful at the beginning of the game, and then as every quarter, every drive, every play would happen, a little bit less in the tank. It got to a point where we were really down across the board when the extra point got blocked. I kind of had to be the quarterback and rally the troops. Guys, hey, we're not out of this. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Come on. And then we were completely out of it.
Yeah, and a lot of people tuned in just to watch you guys suffer. Greg, what was the funniest thing from the sports weekend?
An NFL official plows through Sean Payton, knocks him on his ass, and Sean Payton gets penalized 15 yards.
Sean Payton got up like, what's up?
I know.
You want some?
Couldn't happen to a nicer coach.
Zaz, what was the funniest thing from the sports
Yeah,
weekend?
so yesterday the Rangers lost to the Red Wings 2-1, and there was an empty net at the end of the game. You know how that goes. But the time runs out, and the Rangers player, game's over, and the Rangers player still decides to shoot the puck into the empty net. Dan, all hell broke loose. Rangers goalie Jonathan Quick ran off the bench and started a brawl. It was a melee on. Look at that, Dan. It was a melee because the player shot it into the empty net well after the buzzer. You don't do that, Dan. You don't do that.
Beautiful looking photo.
It is.
Too.
That's a good looking
Look at
photo.
that
I want a
color
wallet
class.
size of that.
Greg, you're the wordsmith around here. Is it melee or melee?
Melee.
It's melee?
Yes.
I saw this weekend Aaron Rodgers. This isn't the funny part, but what happened after he broke his wrist. I'm assuming it's a broken wrist. He gets tackled, and he lands on the wrist, and he immediately starts clutching his left wrist and doesn't stop clutching his left wrist. But he did play one more play with what looked like a broken wrist, and when they broke the huddle, he clapped his hands.
You have to.
Muscle memory.
But he shouldn't have.
No.
He was clapping a broken wrist.
Yeah,
Remember, it was like 2 seasons ago. Tyler Hero broke his wrist in the game, and then they passed it to him in the corner, and he shot it. It was an air ball.
Jeremy, what kind of corrections do we need to make on my 40-year-old Bears memories of defenses that were better than the championship Bears?
86 Bears better, 85 Bears better, 84 Bears set the sack record with 3 guys with double-digit sacks. I see nothing of the 83 Bears.
83 was their worst defensive year.
Power rankings. Is he a 1 seed?
Oh, yeah.
What do you?
Oh, yeah. Are you kidding me?
Dan, you are doing the show I've always wanted to do. Power rankings for Jimmy Butler. I mean, God bless you.
Yeah.
Man.
1 seed.
Yeah.
1A.
Okay. Over anybody with the Dolphins. Anybody else come into? Anybody from the Florida Panthers? You know?
Okay, you're talking about present or all time?
How about current and then we could do all time.
Okay, but this is what we need to do if we're going to go to,
Can you put up a test pattern at least on your screen there, like something? It's just
buddy, I don't have control of the technology here.
this is embarrassing.
It is embarrassing. You don't think I'm embarrassed right now? Or do you think that I'm filled with buoyant champion pride right now?
This is why Mike Ryan left.
But he hasn't left. You just can't see him because he's got his head in his hands in the dark. I can see.
Well, he's going to be leaving. Yeah,
I'm leaving now.
Yeah, I'd get out. Get out while you can.
To answer your question, this is why it's funny, the question that you just asked. Yes, Jimmy Butler is in the process of trying to wrestle away the legacy and team of the Miami Heat from Dwayne Wade gave us the greatest feeling and LeBron James gave us the greatest feeling. However, in the last two games, Caleb Martin has been their star. Caleb Martin has been their best player. Over the last few games, our Michael Jordan has been outplayed by Caleb Martin over the last half of the series.
He should have been the MVP last night.
Well, that's Reggie Miller's fault. He said it on the broadcast again and again.
Why are you yelling? You don't even have lights on there. You don't even have the status to yell at me right now.
Because Reggie Miller told us on the broadcast last night.
Surprised the audio works there out of that studio. Good God. Goodness gracious, man.
Can you see me at all?
No. It's a dark screen.
Why am I holding these lights to my face?
I can't.
Making me sweat.
He's been holding the phone to his face for 15 minutes.
Dan, for 12 minutes you have been in the black and in the dark.
You can't see me at all?
No.
The power is out in the building, Dan.
This is great.
I have no idea how we're connected to Dan Patrick, honestly.
It's hot in here too.
All right. Well,
Sweating.
now I'm here. Now you don't have any signal here coming. Oh my God, I feel bad for you.
Metal Arc
You've
Media.
fallen already.
Hiring now.
Yeah.
Hiring now.
Hopefully-
As media falls apart all over the United
How
States.
about technicians? Hiring technicians right now, a lighting director, something like that. You got to start with the basics. A good
We're in
foundation, Dan.
A brand new studio. I'm sure it wasn't cheap, Dan. I'm sure it wasn't
Oh, no,
cheap.
I saw the tour. I saw the tour of the studio. Looked great.
Do you know how hard it is to pay rent and buy things in Miami right now? Do you know how expensive things are here?
Stugotz, Greg Cody, and Dan Le Batard make up that powerhouse show, the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz. And you know what? You're onto something. A blackout show. You know, we see audiences do it. You've done it with a show. Congratulations, Dan.
I'm deeply embarrassed.
Rich Whittingham's last day.
When you guys make big announcements, are you one that just likes to rip the Band-Aid off or really just drag this out? Like, if you had something really important to say in this segment, would you just say it right now? Or would you, like, let's have a segment, have a little conversation, and then
What do you
build
mean
up
big
to it?
announcements? Like what kind of big announcements?
I don't know. I'm just saying if hypothetically someone wanted to announce something in here.
Announce like
Witty,
what,
if you
though?
wanted to announce something, would you just, like, are you rip the Band-Aid off kind of guy?
I think I am. I don't like to drag things out.
Get right to the point.
Get right to the point.
But why are you guys talking about big announcements?
Because I just
what
like
is-
to talk about life sometimes, and we all have big announcements to make sometimes.
Right. You never
and
know.
I just like to see. I like to go around the room, get a feel for how people like audience. How do you like? We're gonna give a little 10 seconds of silence here, so everyone in the audience can say how they handle big announcements. All right, so audience, when you have a big announcement, are you a rip the Band-Aid type, or do you, slow burn? Shh.
Wow.
This is a callback to Naked Chris, by the way. I used to do this with Naked Chris.
You guys are so uncomfortable with silence. You couldn't get through 4 seconds.
Seriously, I mean,
without,
working in radio for a long time, Dan.
We're ready to go. Dan and I were ready
but
for
you're
10
ju-
seconds.
So I still don't understand what you're doing, though. What are we making a big announcement here? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yes, we are.
But who's making it? Is
Whoa.
Chris Cody making it? I mean,
I am making a big announcement. Well,
okay.
I don't like to, classify my own announcements as big or not big.
Wait a minute.
I'll leave that to you guys.
I started this segment, and there's actually an announcement that needs to be made.
What are the chances?
Wow.
Good at this. All right, so
it was really poor acting.
Spoiler alert.
What the hell are you doing?
Yeah, Chris Cody is correct. He has indeed broken my news. I will no longer be the executive producer of this program. I took over that job like a year and a half ago, but yeah, I will indeed be leaving that. And I have decided to commit fully to my play-by-play role, which I've recently begun with Apple. And yeah, I will no longer, well, I don't want to say no longer because I'll still be around here at Meadowlark. We're working on a project that I will be a part of. But yeah, in terms of regular daily involvement on this show, that comes to a conclusion today. I'll still be around. Like I think every once in a while, I'll still kind of.
Oh, they're hugging you.
Yes, yes.
Did you have a different way of doing this before Chris Cody got involved?
No, I didn't write anything. I was going to say it just as awkwardly.
Some people would argue that you presided over the single worst era of the Le Batard Show with Stugotz.
And if that is...
That was Andy King, year one.
Oh, no.
Not Andy's fault. Not Andy's fault. No. My fault and Dan's fault. Not Andy's fault. Okay?
Or Andy King. All right. So I come in.
It's
our
our fault, not Andy King's. I said it.
I come in third then. That's fine. But if that's on my tombstone, at the very least, I got to say, I work with you, tremendous group of people. I love you all. I will miss you all.
Well, rank us.
Hold on. Before we get to making this awkward and syrupy, we are very happy for you because when you started over here, you are now embarking on what is your dream job, correct? This is, and for those who do not know, we have known.
I just looked at the NFL schedule for next week. We get Rams, Bucks, but that's a great game. But we also get the Chiefs in the hunt right now, presently, trying to save their season against the Colts.
Coming off a bye.
There's a bet to be made there, Dan.
The line's only 3.5. That's tiny. I want to get in that building. Yes. I want to watch that game. If you also want to get in that building or any NFL building, why don't you download the Game Time app and take the guesswork out of buying NFL tickets? Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code Dan for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Swipe, tap, ticket, go.
Put it on the poll, please. A couple of things. Are you stunned that after next week, the Dolphins will have the same number of wins as the Chiefs? And does it hurt more if at the end you lose to a guy named Lutz? At Le Batard Show. Also funny yesterday was on a tush push, Mark Andrews, the immortal, lumbering 35 yards in the open field. He can scoot. He can still scoot.
Dude, he can move.
I expect at this age, with the beating he's taken as the Ravens' career leader in touchdowns, for body parts to fall off and WD-40 to be required because things are creaking. But no, tush push fake, and he just lumbered 35 yards with the ball. I want to get to a couple of things here. The Jalen Ramsey, Jamar Chase spitting incident, Draymond Green being Draymond Green, a gambler confronting Jimmy Butler. But before we get to any of those things, the Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody is now out. And in it, he laments, and Chris told me he got sad in a way that made him emotional. He laments the death of the U.S. penny.
Yes.
It proves he'll get emotional about anything. Because he had Yeti make us, like, I don't know if Yeti did it on his own. I don't know how it came to be, but Yeti made a song about the death of the penny. Yeah. And if you watch our YouTube channel, you legitimately see my dad getting emotional.
The penny costs more to make than it is worth.
Yeah,
correct?
almost 4 times as much.
Why is that emotional for you?
Because the penny is one of the foundations of Americana. I used to collect pennies when I grew up in one of those little blue folders with you'd slide a penny into the hole, and that was a big part of growing up to me, was the scent.
There's a little nugget here, though, that you're leaving out.
What's that?
Not, you can still use the penny.
Oh, it's in circulation.
They're just not making new ones.
Exactly.
Like, you could still pay for stuff with a penny, so it's like nothing is really changing.
They're like newspapers.
It's the death of the penny, though. It's the death of the penny.
I can still go to McDonald's and with 100 pennies, spend $1.
Fine. Do you have 100 pennies? No, because nobody collects pennies anymore.
All right, put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Is the penny one of the foundations of Americana?
Look, the whole idea of nobody carries change anymore. Walking around, everybody used to have a load in their pants. You'd reach in your pocket. You'd reach in your right pocket, there'd be a handful of coins. And now
Handful of
nobody
something.
carries a coin anymore.
You know what you did?
And the penny is part of that.
Do you know what you did?
What's that?
The load in the pants.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes, correct.
Proud
Do
of
you-
himself.
Do you guys want to celebrate the penny in song?
Oh, I sure do.
Do we? How do you feel about Yeti's song? Oh, that's the face that you're making? All right, let's hear a song on the Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody. Let's hear a song that Yeti made about the death of the penny. The penny, of course, one of the foundations of Americana.
Thank you.
All right, that's enough.
What?
If you want to hear the song, it's on the Greg Cody Show
that's
featuring
true.
Greg Cody.
That's a good tease by you.
Long
Thank
as this
you.
intro. I do like that riff though.
All right, that's enough.
It's a great song. It's not a banger, right? It's a sentimental song and appropriately so. Thank you, Yeti. Thank you for feeling me.
Sounds like Fountains of Wayne to me.
I will only talk about the Giants and Packers in this way because I thought Bart Scott had the best analysis before the game. Before the game, I thought he had the best analysis, and it ended up coming to fruition, which was just, with Jameis Winston, it's trick or treat. Now it was a couple of weeks after Halloween, but it's still it was still good analysis because it absolutely is. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show with Jameis Winston. Is it trick or treat? And that concludes our Giants coverage, Packers coverage for the day.
And it don't make sense to say goodbye.
But let's talk about this spitting incident from this Steelers game. And I wasn't aware of this till yesterday. I did not know that the Steelers had a 300-pound tight end named Darnell Washington. I thought that their tight ends were Freiermuth and Jonnu Smith. Thank you, the former Dolphin.
You never seen Washington?
Dude, once
Talk
you
about
see
a
him
load.
once, you are locked in.
Yes, well,
and Aaron Rodgers is also locked in because he has eyes.
He's got to be 300 pounds, right? He's not listed at 300 pounds, but he's got to be 300 pounds.
Easy.
Like that guy in the open field was just wrecking people.
He reminds me a lot, and probably Aaron, of Jermichael Finley. Just a giant, put together, cut out of stone type of dude.
They got him at 6'7", 264, but that's
You want to talk about a load, Greg?
That guy.
Loading his pants?
Tell you what. Damn right, jingle jangle, right?
So Jalen Ramsey, I don't think jingle jangle is the same kind of load in the pants.
It's just
coins.
dawned upon me that he doesn't understand what a load means.
We're talking about coins
Well,
in
he
a
said
pocket.
he was doing it
About a
on
couple
purpose,
coins.
but he
I
was
don't think
lying.
so. Yeah, I think he was lying to me.
It was-
Gaslighting
when you
you.
did load
Yeah.
in the pants, we thought you knew what you were saying, but
I
you
did.
were just saying change in the pants.
Right.
But that's not what a
No.
load in the pants is.
You know about that
There's
jizz?
more definitions to what that means. What do you think? I'm referring to a baby diaper?
You know what? I'm not going to allow Mike Ryan to
That was
do that.
obscene, right?
Yeah, he's got a.
Minor penalty, 2 minutes for a shit contribution.
This will work out with the green shirt.
That's also a load in the pants. Yeah, the green screen and the green shirt isn't going to work, so you can go sit in there and make bad television like you made bad audio.
he was right. That's right.
It's unnecessary. I don't need.
Uncouth was what it was.
Yes, and I'll get to Shador Sanders in a second, but let's do Jalen Ramsey and Jamar Chase. What's going on with spitting on people? Like, what is happening? And Jamar Chase just lied about it afterward. And what should the penalty for this be?
He's going to get suspended.
You think he's going to lose an entire game?
Yeah, it already happened with homeboy from
Jalen Carter.
Yeah.
But Jalen Carter was suspended for the game that he was in. He was ejected for the one game, right? Like,
Wasn't he also suspended after that?
I didn't.
No,
think,
I believe he
don't
got.
think-
It was like early in the game. I think he just got.
It was
ejected.
before a single play.
Yeah,
Right,
but
so I think he just that game was the
that's
game.
what I think that's
Yeah.
got him suspended for the game. You think Jamar Chase is going to miss the next
I do.
game?
Yeah.
What is happening with people spitting? What happened? So Jalen Ramsey punched him, right? And then and the referee, did the referee see that Jalen Ramsey had been spit on?
No, he must not have.
No, Jalen. The punch gets seen. Jalen gets kicked out, and then we of course see afterwards that it was all triggered by a spit.
A big loogie that he said he didn't spit. You clearly see like a massive spit wad flying through and hanging off of his face.
We have the back and forth here. First, here's Jalen saying he did spit.
He spit on me, so it's up. I'm gonna get football after that, respectfully.
He added an important caveat, respectfully.
You know what? I think most people understand that, though. I think most people say, you know what? I'm with Jalen Ramsey on that.
So it's up. I don't give a football after that. Respectfully.
Which gets the point across better, the respectfully or the quite frankly?
Well, the quite frankly before Bleep You has a bit of song in it. Respectfully looks like he's just trying to dilute what he said
Yes,
before it.
yeah.
I think the quite frankly builds up, and then Bleep You is the big punctuation.
And here's Jamar denying it, even though there's clear video evidence that he did spit.
Just to be clear, you did not spit on him at all. That's what he's saying.
I ain't spit on nobody.
What a liar.
Massive hawker.
Maybe
I
he was just talking crap and like spit out.
Not that
just
amount of
while-
crap
So
is-
enthusiastic about what
No.
he's saying.
Okay, but you guys are telling me, and I have not seen video or photographic proof of this, you guys are telling me that something was hanging from Jalen Ramsey's face mask. If that's the case, that's not spittle. Like, that's not, that is from the throat. If it's something that's hanging, that's like a fern that's hanging from the face mask.
Look how scary Mike looks right now.
Wow.
That's too...
He's in a graveyard.
It's too big of a disrespect, and I don't understand why it is that people continue to do this, and I wonder if the penalties need to be stiffer, because if you don't want things to escalate, right? Like, I think one of the things with punishments that is preventative is the consequences have to be to avoid escalation.
That's why he's going to get suspended.
And when you have, like, let's say whatever you believe to be the greatest escalations in sports history, the Malice at the Palace comes to mind. It starts with you throw a beer on Ron Artest. That action creates the escalation that ends up in the biggest suspensions you see in the history of the sport. I think the suspensions have to be pretty stiff on this as a disrespect, because what can escalate after that can get a lot messier than what happened in that game. If your teammates see it, then I know that, Greg, after the game that was marred earlier this season by punches being thrown after the game that involved the Lions, you were lamenting and you were saying that had to be big suspensions. If other players on your team see that you have a loogie hanging from your face mask and it's Jalen Ramsey who's feeling that level of disrespect that he tells you after that, he's like, football doesn't matter, my job doesn't matter, my paycheck doesn't matter, I'm on television doesn't matter, my team's in the playoff hunt doesn't matter, Aaron Rodgers last year doesn't matter, nothing matters after that. Like, it's just not something that you can have in the sport. You can't abide that level of disrespect. Suspending someone a game is something that matters in that sport when there are 17 games. But I do wonder if there are enough deterrents given the amount of spitting we've seen recently. It seems like there's not enough of a deterrent.
Well, I think it's going to depend on the NFL really rethinking its whole punishment system and adding this, because right now it's the physicality that they're after. In other words, if you spit at me and I punch you, I'm more liable for punishment than you are, even though you started it. And my other question is...
The ref couldn't have seen that there was spit, though. That couldn't have been seen. Otherwise,
Right.
they'd both be ejected.
But my other question is, what if the disrespect is spoken? What if instead of spitting at you, I say something that's
I don't think
really
there's anything that you could say, honestly, as disrespectful as that. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Is there anything anyone can say to you as disrespectful as spitting in your face?
Clarification on the Jalen Carter situation. So he was suspended in the game that he was in, obviously kicked out. The NFL said, we're not going to suspend you for another following game after that. So
It was literally a whole game that he was kicked out for.
It was, again, one of the first plays of the game,
No, it was
basically.
before the first play. It was after the kickoff.
Yeah, it was on the field. Yeah, Dak Prescott had just come out. But I would say, honestly, I'm not kidding about this. I'm serious about what I'm about to say. The punishment should be worse if the expectoration is worse. If there's a loogie hanging from your face mask, like with Jalen Carter, there was some question about, like, did he, didn't he? We got to go to the video. But if there's a loogie hanging from your face mask, the punishment needs to be worse than that.
So do you just have to leave the loogie hanging on your face and run to the referee
Yes.
and say, see,
Yes.
see?
Yes. Yes.
It takes a skill to spit through a face mask, I would imagine, because you've got a bar here or a bar there. How do you have to raise your lips to, it's
Guy who's
weird.
never had his hand in the dirt. I don't like that from Greg Cody. I don't like that look.
It's skillful, though.
Yeah, but you got to know. You got to put a helmet on. Throw a hawker out there. Just like Dan last week, not a fan of having his hand in the dirt. Greg Cody showing your ass right now.
Okay, but I'm respecting the ability to spit through a face mask. I don't condone spitting, but I'm respecting the ability to accurately
Sounds
spit.
like you're not condemning it either, though.
You ever spit on someone?
I have not, nor would I.
Me neither.
Nor would I. But if I do spit on someone, does it justify him punching me in the
Yes.
face? I don't think so.
Respectfully.
You get a
You
disease from being spit on.
You're thinking 5 years ago.
Have you seen the spit-offs that they have in the East?
They got rid of that.
Respectfully.
I'll never forget
It's a big breakthrough 5 years
what
ago.
they did to us.
So 5 years ago, I really do. Us, just for the record, okay? I want you guys to now imagine Jalen Ramsey out for the rest of the season because of a disease that he got from the mouth of Jamar Chase.
Yeah. Pandemic.
Respectfully.
You kidding me? You spit during the pandemic. They put a white suit on you. You couldn't even see through.
Coughing just now is back.
Jalen Ramsey out 2 weeks, spitting disease.
Right.
What is the disease you believe that people can get from spitting? Just out of curiosity,
Probably
like
AIDS.
what are?
Spitosis.
All right.
Respectfully.
I mean, they should both be gone.
You ask me.
Yeah, it's my mistake. I want to ask you guys this because I don't believe that there's any circumstance under which we're talking about the third string quarterback who's a fifth-round pick on a terrible Browns team unless it's Shedeur Sanders. Like, it's legitimately not in my lifetime a story that I'm ever going to see talked about a great deal on a Monday after the weekend's games. How bad and unprepared did the fifth-round pick, who's the third-string quarterback for a truly terrible team, this is the only guy famous enough to have ever registered on anyone's conversation scale. He clearly wasn't ready. The Browns obviously knew he wasn't ready. He showed yesterday why it is that they thought he was not ready, and yet I believe a lot of people will still be talking about him, even though he's an irrelevant person in the league.
Can you hype up the crowd when you're running onto the field and then go 4 for 16 with an interception? That's tough. Come on.
You can.
it is tough. I rethought my position from a month ago where I was arguing on behalf of the Lego helmets. Romeo Dobbs, when you drop the ball that much, you can't be wearing a Lego helmet. Like, you got to catch the ball if you're wearing the Lego helmet. I'm fine with you running around wearing the Lego helmet and not dropping the ball, but if you're going to drop the ball and look ridiculous with the Lego helmet, I'm going to be embarrassed on your behalf.
Am I supposed to believe, because the big story is that Shedeur Sanders was completely unprepared, and it's not his fault, it's Kevin Stefanski's fault, because apparently he has not taken a single snap with the first team since preseason. How can that be true if he goes into this game as the backup? Not a single practice snap with the first team, and he's the backup quarterback?
Well,
I mean, is that even reasonable to believe?
Well, he was only the backup because Dylan Gabriel got a concussion.
But wouldn't every week a backup get some reps with first team?
He's literally a play away from playing.
No, he was the backup.
Yeah, he was a backup once they got rid of Joe Flacco. I think the argument for not giving Shedeur any reps as a number 2 quarterback on the depth chart is they took another quarterback in this draft class that was higher, and that quarterback needs all the snaps that he can get with the first team. And clearly, they've seen enough throughout their evaluation process that leads them to believe they have a better chance of winning with Dylan Gabriel than Shedeur. And so probably they decided no snaps for Shedeur, all the snaps for Dylan Gabriel.
I mean, I'm sure that's true, but like when the Dolphins threw Quinn Ewers in there a few weeks ago, like no one was saying he hasn't had a single snap with the first team in practice since training camp, right?
I don't think anybody was making excuses for him at the time. And I imagine Quinn Ewers did get some first team snaps.
I would think so.
But it's also
Given
not the
Tua
same.
thing.
It's not the same situation. Tua doesn't need more practice snaps. Dylan Gabriel needs all of the
Right.
practice snaps.
Yeah.
He's not a veteran quarterback. So just to correct things, because it's important that we get things right about all the Bears defenses, but also diseases spread through spitting. AIDS not one of them.
That's right.
So just to be clear,
No, who said that?
Double check on that.
it was just
double checked.
There aren't a lot of diseases that can be spread through.
Can find out those though if you'd like.
No, but I said half jokingly, and it's true, that during the height of the pandemic, if you sneezed in public, people looked at you crazy.
Ebola.
Yeah.
Coughing was the real thing.
Coughing,
Sneezing
right.
a little less so.
I'm a professional cougher. I know that. It was tough going through the pandemic coughing, believe me.
Before we get to Bill Belichick being cold in the handshake with Wake Forest after the game, after losing to Wake Forest, I do want to get to this Draymond Green story because we were just talking about Jamar Chase up and down lying, about spitting on a face mask where there was clearly a loogie. Draymond Green is also not telling the truth about whatever it is. What are the details I need to know about what he was reacting to in regards to Angel Reese?
Yeah, so yesterday the Warriors were playing at the Pelicans. Boy, Pelicans are terrible, Dan. The Warriors were at the Pelicans, and Zion never plays, Dan, and they fired Willie Green, their coach. So the Warriors, that's a rundown. Everything you need to know about the Pelicans.
Things are going well in New Orleans.
Keep interrupting yourself. I like that as a character.
A lot of parentheticals there.
You know about them.
So Draymond Green in the middle of the game walked over to, behind the basket, and he confronted a fan. And by the way, that fan is tall. They were nose to nose, all right? And Draymond Green and the fan are having a back and forth, and then eventually they get split up, and the fan got warned, don't do it again. And so it turned out what happened was Draymond Green was then asked after the game about the incident. I believe we have the video. So here was Draymond Green's explanation as to what made him confront the fan.
What happened in the second quarter with that fan?
He just kept calling me a woman. It was a good joke at first, but you can't keep calling me a woman. Kids, run on the way. Can't keep calling me a woman. So, he got quiet though, so it was fine. Yeah, he just kept calling me a woman's name. I am not.
Official came over. I mean, were you guys discussing?
Yeah, he just told me I got it. I've heard him over and over and over again. You've handled it well. Don't get yourself in no trouble. I'll take care of it. Courtney was great.
Okay, so first Draymond Green is saying that the fan kept calling him a woman, which you would think means one thing. Then eventually he was called a woman's name. Well, as it turns out, the fan was calling him Angel Reese because he kept missing shots and getting rebounds, and that's all he could do. He keeps missing layups. Being called Angel Reese and being called a woman are not the same thing, which is why Draymond Green never actually said what he was being called because it's stupid.
He was offended because he kept missing shots and grabbing his own rebounds the way that
Dan.
And the way that Angel Reese does. So the fan was complimenting him by calling
great player,
him a
Angel
great
Reese.
offensive rebounder is what the fan meant in that situation.
He was being called a woman.
Thank you. Well, come on. There used to be a saying, I don't want to be the old guy.
All right, I don't like where this is going.
We don't want to do
Oh,
this.
I like where this is headed.
No.
This is not something he'll regret. Come on.
The saying used to be sticks and stones
Okay.
will break my bones,
All right,
but words will never hurt me.
I didn't know where that was.
When somebody,
That's a good one,
somebody
actually.
calls me a woman or calls me Angel Reese, what am I supposed to do? Get all macho and punch the guy? Come on.
I need your support.
You take an insult like a man and move on.
You know the actual saying, sticks and stones?
Like a man.
Or like a woman, as the case may be.
Say the saying that you're talking about.
What saying? What do you mean?
Sticks and stones.
Will break my bones, but words will never hurt
I didn't
me.
know. I thought maybe you'd screw it up after saying it's a great
no,
saying.
I grew up with that saying. We used to always say it.
Back when the penny mattered.
Yes. The U.S. cent. Bring it back, Jack. Let's go.
He was not the only Warrior who was. I'm not going to say. Was this a confrontation? Was Jimmy Butler? What happened here? What happened with Jimmy Butler and a gambler? Before we get to this Bill Belichick moment, Jimmy Butler. The Warriors beat the Spurs twice with Steph Curry going crazy. With Steph Curry,
He's
going
so good right now.
Oh my God.
I think he might be my MVP right now.
Really?
He might be my MVP of the day.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
He's playing that well right now.
He's wearing Nikes.
Wearing Kobe's. He's a
you-
sneaker free agent, by the way, Dan. Did you know
Did you guys hear what Greg Cody said when MVP talk came up? He just muttered under his breath, "Norman Powell."
Yeah, I heard this straight.
He's right.
All right,
Yeah.
let's hear and watch Jimmy Butler in the street having an interaction with a gambler. I'm sure athletes love being in the street and hearing from gamblers or fantasy players on how they ruined everything.
Green apple looking at, stupid big ass Tim's on. Jimmy Butler, man, they don't give a you in that city. Look at him. Mo Prime, look at that. Yeah. Bro, I put 3,000 to win 30. Why you ain't have 30 perks? Jimmy Butler, why you did not have a 30 perks? You were supposed to go over, You work for Vegas. You work for Vegas.
Seems reckless.
That's a fair question.
No, it isn't.
Green apple looking at is a good one.
We're no Timberlands.
You can't talk to people like that, man. Who do you think you are?
Okay, keep doing the impression. I like it.
Who do you?
Yes, keep using that voice. That's great.
For those of you who cannot see this, Jimmy Butler is wearing what is the color? It's somewhere between
Green
yellow,
apple.
Yellow and lime. Is it green apple?
Like a pale green.
All right,
It's garish.
it's not. It's very colorful. I guess. Yeah.
It's a highlighter. It's a yellow highlighter after you've gone over black pen just one time.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's just slightly darker than the yellow highlighter.
It's got a little vomit quality to it.
I like how Jimmy, he wasn't necessarily offended by the things the guy was saying. It's that, can't you see I'm on the phone?
Yeah.
This is admirable restraint from Jimmy Butler. You really shouldn't talk to people like this.
100%.
You should not do this. Play the whole thing.
Jimmy Butler, man, they don't give a you in that city. Look at him. Mo Prime, look at that. Yeah. Bro, I put 3,000 to win 30. Why you ain't have 30 perks? Jimmy Butler, why you did not have a 30 perks? You were supposed to go over, You work for Vegas. You work for Vegas.
It's crazy.
Would you
That's
guys?
funny.
Would you guys? If Jimmy Butler reached into that man's car and slapped him, if Jimmy Butler reached into the car and slapped him, most athletes know better than this. Know they're being provoked. Know that a lawsuit can come from the video. Know that this person can be videoing them in order to get the provocation response. But if he had slapped him, would you guys have the similar reaction that you did to Jalen Ramsey when he's like, "Yeah, I understand why it is that he punched Jamar Chase."
I think it relates to our earlier conversation. If Jimmy Butler reaches through that window and punches that man, Jimmy Butler gets suspended by the NBA.
This
probably.
feels a little more playful than a spit. That guy sucks.
No, you can't. That feels playful to you when he calls him a bitch ass? Like that feels playful to you.
No, it's rude. It's rude.
Because you guys cut that off on the second part. Like that's the one that was like once it got to there, one more time, because if someone talks to me this way, I'm not taking it as playful. I'm not receiving this.
What are you doing?
I'm not receiving this as playful is what I'm telling you.
Green apple looking at, stupid big ass Tim's on. Jimmy Butler, man, they don't give a you in that city. Look at him. Mo Prime, look at that. Yeah. Bro, I put 3,000 to win 30. Why you ain't have 30 perks? Jimmy Butler, why you did not have a 30 perks? You were supposed to go over, You work for Vegas. You work for Vegas. Green apple looking at.
Without the profanity, why didn't you go over 30 points? A fair question.
Well, the way he said points was funny.
Pernt.
Mo Prime, look at that. Yeah.
Bad bet though. $3,000 on Jimmy over 30. I don't like that.
Isn't over 30 always a dangerous bet?
Maybe he may have been getting odds.
Not in today's NBA. Marketing will give you 47 every night.
It's good.
It was to win 30. He said so. It must have paid really good.
You
odds.
work for Vegas is crazy.
What is propane looking ass? Like what?
You know when you see it.
What? No, I don't know.
What is that?
Is he alleging that the color of the outfit is propane
Mo
colored?
Prime,
Like
look at that. Yeah.
Play it again.
Mo Prime, look at that.
See,
it's not propane.
The text said propane.
It's
I
not
thought it was
propane.
propane too. It's something else.
Moped looking ass.
Moped looking?
One more time.
Moped looking ass.
Moped?
Yeah.
Totally comfortable with this. Good stuff. Yes.
Jimmy doesn't seem very amused.
Nor should he be.
He just was on the phone.
I think he handled it admirably. See, I credit Jimmy Butler
Oh,
for the
sure.
restraint.
For sure. These guys are used to it, but it is dehumanizing in a way that's super strange. Like, I don't know how it is or why it is. Well, I kind of do, actually. Why it is people are that comfortable being that disrespectful.
I think athletes are more and more comfortable with living with the gambling and the fantasy element of what they do for a living. Quick example, A.J. Brown, who spent the entire season complaining that the Eagles aren't throwing him the ball enough, was quoted the other day as saying, I wouldn't have me on my fantasy team. I'm not getting the ball enough. Nobody should have me on their fantasy team.
If I could be for real for a moment, that's a scary situation. If you're Jimmy Butler walking down the street, a dude pulls up on you in the car. You don't know what he has.
I would argue that this guy did not cross the line, but I'm with you that you don't know.
There is nobody that is comfortable with anybody driving up to them, screaming at
You
them.
don't
You don't
think,
know what is happening.
Wait.
fair.
Wait a minute.
That's fair.
The only reason you don't think he crossed the line is because you too think that you're entitled with gambling, fantasy, or whatever to be mad at an athlete because he cost you money. That crosses the line. Like
Yes.
that absolutely. You don't talk to
for me,
another-
like if the scale is 0, like if 10 is I'm legitimately fearful that I'm about to be attacked. If that's a 10, to me this is like a 6 or a 7.
You can't call him a bitch ass, and you can't do that.
He's harassed in public.
But he's saying it like I get it. Like, but he's not like I don't hear this guy's tone and being like, oh my God, this guy's I'm with you. I don't know where the line is either. I'm
Dude,
not saying
Let's
It's
have
not
a
where you
car
think
roll
it
up.
is.
Let's have a car roll up on you and say, "Hey, Chris Cody," in that tone. Like,
I mean,
you'll be looking
I've
for a
been
way
heckled
out.
walking to my car before.
That's not like I don't think like
You
he's
cost
angry.
me money. You
like,
work
hey,
for
hey,
Vegas.
He's calling him a B word. Like I mean, you don't know what he has.
I think it's a fine line here. I think that Jimmy Butler absolutely is being insulted. I don't think he's being threatened. It seems like
It's not a fine line. Don't talk to people that way. That's not a fine line.
Yeah, this is pretty cut and dry. Like this should not be happening. No, I'm not saying that you should be like cowering in fear, but I also think that like to have someone drive up, roll down their window, and start yelling at you, no matter what the context. By the way, on the phone, right? So he doesn't know at first what this guy is yelling at him. That's not. And by the way, even given what he is yelling at him, not okay. You should not be approaching people saying you work for Vegas. Like that's not how this works.
The "you work for Vegas" was the least offensive thing he said.
No, but it's
playing around.
It's
Even the bitch ass. Like he's being playful. Like there's no point there where Jimmy thinks this
How
guy's
do you
getting
know?
out. And I'm with you.
You
That's
can't see
where
his face? You
That's
have no
why
idea.
this is. I'm with you that this is not a good thing because someone might go past the line.
You're just
I
assuming
think that
based
this
off
guy
tone.
was like close to the line, but on like the playful side.
Man.
But I'm with you that
Chris,
I don't know.
Chris,
It's a slippery
I don't know,
slope.
dude.
He's criticizing both his appearance,
Yep.
his choice in shoes,
A funny joke.
accusing him of fixing games, and calling him a bitch ass. Where do you think the line is?
Looking ass.
I think the line is getting out of the car and being physically threatening.
Guys, he started with green apple looking at.
Thank
We're
you.
we're
Like,
fine.
you
We're
guys are
fine,
like-
guys. We're fine. You guys
I'm
are a little
with you.
sensitive on this.
It could have escalated, and it is a
Big
slippery
Tim's
slope.
looking ass.
Wait, is this in San Francisco?
Fentanyl capital of the world.
Not,
It is.
not Big Tim's. It was stupid ass Tim's. It was
Big stupid ass Tim's. Funny.
It's a funny bird.
I can't believe we're debating it.
Were they big, stupid ass Tims?
Yeah. Did he look like a green apple?
Propane tank?
I thought Jimmy handled that exceptionally well.
Perfectly.
Me too.
You
Good for
guys
Jimmy.
have a different.
So you
guys
think that guy
have
should
a
be
different
arrested?
line?
To me, it's
Yes,
just like a.
yes, shot in the street, Chris. Yes, that's what I think.
You literally
I think-
just said that he
Chris,
went way past the line.
Chris.
Okay, like
Arrested, Chris. Arrested. Like there are
So
no.
it's not a
there are
crime
no,
what he
so
did.
there are no detours. Wait a minute. So your line is crime. Commit a crime against
No,
Jimmy
you
Butler.
guys are the ones freaking out over this, and I'm asking you,
I'm
like,
not-
what should
I'm-
they call
I'm
the
not
cops? Like, what?
I'm not freaking out. I'm saying that's wildly disrespectful to do to somebody you don't know. It's disrespectful.
What should Jimmy Butler have done? What would you
What
have
he
done?
did.
Exactly what he did.
Exactly.
But that's calling on the athlete to show vastly better behavior as the victim of this than it is of the fan, which I'm not surprised. When I say, oh, I'm not surprised why this happens, yes, more and more, because you're in fantasy leagues with these players and because they cost you money, more and more fans, the customer, feels more and more entitled to dehumanize the athlete. But that is not a person you talk to that way. You heard Draymond Green say while he was talking, you heard him say, it was fine, I handled it. As soon as I confronted him face to face, that stopped. Everything stopped because that's not something that you do to Jimmy Butler unless you're trying to provoke some sort of response. Like if Jimmy Butler does slap you in the face, you were looking for it by talking to him that way.
Right, but who gets in trouble? Jimmy Butler
That's
does.
correct. But who got in trouble in the Jalen Ramsey thing? He was disrespected, and then Jalen Ramsey got in trouble.
Right.
But the better behavior is required of the athlete in that spot, because I assure you, the conversation, if we had video of Jimmy Butler slapping that guy, or worse, just putting his fist repeatedly in the car, Jimmy Butler would be the one that's in trouble there
100%.
When the thing that happened was the disrespect escalated to that point, and I'd be sitting there saying, you know what? I don't blame Jimmy Butler for doing that. Don't talk to Jimmy Butler that way if you don't know Jimmy Butler and he doesn't know you're being playful.
And also the responsibility is on the athlete. They know they have more to lose than a guy who's going to pull up on the street and make a joke about you looking like a green apple or wearing stupid-ass Timbs. Like, you know that going into it, hey, I make millions of dollars a year. I can't do anything.
If Jimmy Butler leans into that car window and starts yelling back at that guy, the escalation is on Jimmy Butler. He's the athlete who needs to take the high road there. I give him all the credit in the world for the way he handled that.
Jimmy Butler, why you did not have a 30 perks? You were supposed to go over. You work for Vegas. You work for Vegas.
We've got breaking news here with the Atlanta Falcons. Michael Penix, potential season-ending knee injury. So it looks like Kirk Cousins will probably be going the rest of the way there. I'm assuming that Aaron Rodgers' wrist is broken. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers can play or would want to play with a broken left wrist. Like if it's not his, does anyone have any earthly idea? Any earthly idea whether or not he could play with a broken left wrist, given that it's not really, I don't know whether you can hold a snap. Can you even take a snap without fumbling if you've got a cast on your left hand?
I would think that's going to remove him from the game. Generally, when a right-handed quarterback has the opposite arm injury, whether it's a shoulder or anything like that, they're out.
I mean, it wouldn't be a cast. Tape it up. I think he probably plays.
Yeah, but you got to take a snap though.
You're in shotgun. It's not like the ball's going to be, pushed into your hands.
Yeah.
You're like,
but he's not in shotgun all the time, though. Like, he's got to go under center with their offense. He's got to go under center. But the thing is, it's not even that. It's just the act of football. All right, I'm fine. I throw the ball, I get tackled, and then I land on my wrist like the way I broke it the first time. It's just going to
us trying to break down this wrist injury is one of this last 30 seconds.
I did good analysis.
Yeah. Greg,
like that.
Zaslow, soda drinker body, 90-year-old man, and a guy that threw
taken a snap before.
Imaginary
football. That's taken a snap before.
You started talking about the wrist. Tony mimed a hut to all right, let me text.
Yeah, because I was thinking, all right, you go right as a right-handed quarterback, you go right over left right here.
We are the worst. I don't know. Dan, I don't know.
Boom, I'm up here.
I don't know. It seems like it hurts.
Neither do I. But do you know how hard...
This guy's a green apple looking at. What are you talking about?
Zaz says he might play.
Do you know how hard it is for us as a show to be worse than we were with Chris Cody saying, I don't think that's close to the line.
You guys are... Okay. I mean, I think you guys are off on this one.
This guy getting heckled, by the way? Come on, give me a break.
Fraud multiple times.
6 and stones, baby.
Yo, chicken thigh.
You're not heckled after complete fraud. Full of shit. Across the streets,
ask Carl. Carl's seen it.
Nobody heckle you. They call you a big-faced, red-faced, bitch-ass motherfucker.